because China is coming out with robots that will be able to childbear. Yes, robots that will be able to carry a child full term and actually deliver the child. But here's the caveat: the child will be fully human.
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. How you guys doing? You guys know what we like to do here, man. We break down scary and creepy videos that's gonna make us question everything. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Say it with me, y'all. Yeah, I know what we do. Do it every day. Let's seek the truth.
Without knowing these. 29% of male gamers specifically prefer playing as female characters, while 9% of female gamers specifically prefer playing as male characters. So Idaho has a port to the Pacific Ocean, despite not being on the coast. There's apparently a river that can take it to the Pacific Ocean that goes over 400 miles to reach this port in Idaho. One of the April Fool's days in the 90s, Burger King ran a full-page ad in USA Today announcing a left-handed Whopper. It had the same ingredients, but was rotated 180 degrees. Thousands of customers showed up to Burger King and were requesting it. If Friends premiered in 2025, the actors' birth years would be these, and they're all younger than me. Michael Collins is the astronaut that took this picture in 1969, and he is the only human, alive or dead, that is not in the frame of this picture. The character Kirby was named after the lawyer John Kirby, who successfully defended Nintendo against Universal Studios in a copyright dispute for the Donkey Kong game.
Does this little girl prove that our shoes are killing us?
It's crazy to me that people don't understand the power of grounding. I say this all the time. It's your shoes that are making you sick. Look, she's measuring no voltage right now because her feet are on the concrete. But watch how fast her body instantly saturates with electrons from Mother Earth. As soon as she steps on the grass, watch this. Boom. Instantly saturates with electrons. And then blood viscosity goes down. It's easier for the heart to pump blood. Blood pressure goes down and all sorts of cardiovascular issues are resolved just by putting your feet on the ground. And all this happens because your red blood cells repel each other because of the electrons in your body. It also reduces inflammation. We are meant to be connected to the earth. Your shoes are making you sick, guys. So go outside, put your bare feet on the ground, ground yourself to the earth, and you are going to feel so much.
You can definitely tell a difference from when the little girl was on the concrete compared to when she stepped on the grass. As always, thank you for watching. Stay weird.
That's
With
interesting.
all the crazy things happening in 2025, did you have a megalodon on your bingo card?
Nope.
What's a megalodon? According to Wikipedia, a megalodon is the largest shark to ever exist, living from 23 to 3.6 million years ago. They can grow up to an average of 67 feet. Why do I bring this up? Because there's a viral video of a megalodon that washed ashore off of Australia's east coast. You heard me. A viral video of a megalodon shark that washed ashore on Australia's east coast. You don't believe me? Take a look at this.
That has to be a
Now, according to the story that was posted with the video, it is 60 feet long. Now, I know these things lived years ago and they are allegedly extinct. Could that video be AI or could it be the real thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
That's AI.
Talk about the mystery woman behind me. In 1970, a group of hikers came upon her body in the Islanden region of Norway. Her body had been severely burned and her fingerprints were sanded off. Law enforcement examined the scene very thoroughly but could not find any identifiers because all of them were removed on purpose. Any sort of marks on her clothing or belongings were removed. She was estimated to be about 5'4" and 25 to 40 years old. As the investigation continued, 2 suitcases were found in Bergen train station. They were thought to be the woman's suitcases, but once again, all of the labels and any evidence were removed from all of the suitcases. But they did find one very, very strange thing. A coded note was found in the suitcases, and once deciphered, it showed everywhere this woman had traveled or stayed. It was also found out she had various names and forged passports. Anyone that may have saw this woman was interviewed, and everyone spoke very highly of her. One eyewitness said she was walking in an alley with two men and they were not dressed for harsh conditions. It was very cold in the region, so you would think they'd have sweaters or something like that, but they didn't. So many speculate that she was a spy, and this is why the aliases and different names and forged passports were coming up. So, was this woman a spy or a victim? Let me know what you guys think about this case in the comment section below.
Here's some of the greatest conspiracy theories of all time. Michael Jackson, also known as the King of Pop, was one of the most popular singers, songwriters, and dancers of the 20th century. Made famous by his voice, songs, and the also famous moonwalk, he became an all-time favorite amongst society. He died from cardiac arrest in his home after being given various medications by his personal physician, Conrad Murray. However, the video you are seeing now was taken on the same day of Michael Jackson's death, which shows what looks to be the famous pop star being escorted out of a coroner's van into a secluded area. Some might say that this happened before his death, but officials pronounced him dead at 2:26 p.m. Pacific time, and this video was taken at night that same day.
Oh, what kind of cursed-ass jewelry did they steal? A rare tornado has just ripped through a French town just outside of Paris, killing 1, injuring 10, and leaving 4 people in critical condition. The tornado caused 3 cranes to come crashing down, one of which fell on a clinic. Entire roofs were torn off, cars were flipped, and power in the area was cut. More than 170 emergency personnel were mobilized to help support those affected. That's it, I've heard enough. Give them back.
Think about how many people that was disaffected by that internet shutdown. Mind you, you had people trying to get into their banking apps, couldn't get in. And that's a whole big problem right in itself. Now just imagine if everything went down and you can't get to your money. How you gonna survive? You had Amazon workers trying to go to work and they couldn't clock in. Everything just froze. They telling them, yo, you gotta wait outside, you can't get in, just wait around and see what happens. This is all because of an internet shutdown. And then you have other apps that people use frequently, people use daily, that's just done off. Can't log on, can't do anything. And again, now you gotta ask yourself, what if everything, all clouds, went down? You see, this AWS situation needs to be a wake-up call right now. People need to start planning for the future because anything is possible. Anything can happen. Dangerous grounds right now. This thing we call the internet is a big part of our lives. This thing that we call the internet is a big part of how we spend our money, how we get our money, how we keep our money. So if money is important to you, your money is important to you, then you have some things to think about after today. Because if it can happen now, it can happen again. And it just might happen again. This is for entertainment purposes only. I'm out.
You know, there's a trend.
I see when that, AWS and all those apps and stuff was down on Twitch, basically, I was saying they was like, that's why it shouldn't all be, I guess, under Amazon, because Amazon was connected, I guess, to all these other apps, I guess, allegedly. It just like affected multiple apps, man. That's just, it's scary, bro. And all those things are down, affecting that many people. I saw like clips of Amazon workers here. They was in the warehouse, but they were just standing around because, like I said, they couldn't clock in because everything was down, man. That's affecting people's work, jobs, money, bro. It's scary, man. That shows us, man, we can't all just put our faith, man, I guess, in the system, bro. Because you never know what could happen.
Now with ChatGPT, where you could get a lot of your friends' fake pictures and you can all combine them into one and you're all going like this. I know whoever's doing those trends, you're wasting water. I'm not gonna lie. Because I know to generate that picture of all the baby faces. Wasting water. No, that's what it is. Because every time you put in something in ChatGPT, you waste water. What do you want to waste? A bubble bath? Or an AI pic of you as like a celebrity?
Bradley Cooper don't look like Bradley Cooper no more. And if you start to notice, in Hollywood, celebrities is all trending this way. A lot of celebrities in Hollywood is starting to change in ways that don't make sense. Look at his eyes, their faces, the whole energy is off. They're slowly becoming unrecognizable. And Hollywood is playing a big role in this, I believe. And I don't think it's surgery or age, y'all. I feel like it's something deeper, something more spiritual. It's like they're trading piece by piece of their soul for fame. And once it's all done, what's left of them walking around is not them anymore. Hollywood don't change people. It replaces them.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory around the Mandela effect? This woman gave the example of the Fruit of the Loom logo. She said the Fruit of the Loom logo used to have a cornucopia in it. So, you know, like the basket with all the fruit spilling out. Fruit of the Loom was like, we've never ever had that. And they went so far as to create an illustration of their logo all throughout the years, none of them showing the cornucopia.
That's impossible.
This chick went so crazy about it. Like, she was talking to her therapist, and her therapist is like, chill out about Fruit of the Loom. And then she was like, I'm not kidding. It has a cornucopia in it, and I'm gonna die on this hill. She went through her whole closet and like friends' closets and stuff, and she finally found a t-shirt that had the Fruit of the Loom logo with a cornucopia.
No way!
And she went as far as to go look at the old like trademarks and stuff, like U.S. government trademarks, and found an illustration of the cornucopia.
What is up with that? Why are they gaslighting us?
The theory is it's a giant experiment, worldwide experiment, to see how easy it is to erase history.
I mean, that's 100% probably a real thing.
Yeah.
And they just had certain brands that opt up for it or something.
So be stubborn.
For real.
It's Bernstein Bears.
Yes. Yeah, not Berenstain. That's wacky.
So I think I might have missed the episode because China is coming out with robots that will be able to childbear. Yes, robots that will be able to carry a child full term and actually deliver the child. But here's a caveat. The child will be fully human. Yes, the child will be fully human. China has just found a way to be able to store eggs inside of robots to have them do exactly what a woman would do who is nursing, who is having a child, and they will be able to do the exact same and also produce a child. It is an artificial womb, but it will house a child in the artificial womb. And so now they're saying there's no need for women anymore. What is this world coming to, bro? Robots having children? Now I kind of get what God was saying, because he said if he does not quicken Jesus' coming, then there will be no flesh saved. And I'm starting to see the writing on the wall with the electronic tattoos, with the artificial wombs of the robots, with the merging of AI with humans, with the nuclear talks and all the different wars and the evil we see on this earth. I'm starting to see why. You get what I'm saying? Also, I'm starting to see, as in the days of Noah, come to life as well, because they were creating these half human, half animal hybrids, half human, half angel hybrids. I can guarantee you that any baby that is born from this robot will not be a real human. It will be a robot mixed with a baby, and I guarantee you that's something. And they're probably experimenting on the other side, probably trying to give it like Nephilim blood or Satan's blood. Or, hey, listen, you might say, oh, you're just a conspiracy theorist. This is a good thing. We can have more babies and you. Okay. Let's see how this play out, because I can guarantee you it will not play out in your optimistic way you think it will. This is evil. This is insane.
A woman who hasn't been able to move her hands for 20 years just wrote her name using nothing but her thoughts. And she's calling it telepathy. Her name is Audrey Cruz. She's a Neuralink patient. And she just did something that sounds like pure science fiction. She opened a laptop, moved a cursor across the screen, and wrote the word Audrey in cursive with zero physical movement, just her brain sending signals directly to the computer. But here's what makes this absolutely insane. She's not just writing her name. She's drawing faces, hearts, triangles, taking requests from people online and creating whatever they ask for, all by imagining her pointer finger clicking and her wrist moving the cursor. No hands, no voice commands, pure thought to digital action. 20 years of paralysis, and now she's controlling technology with her mind like it's nothing. Even Elon Musk had to step in and remind people how revolutionary this is. He said most people don't realize this is even possible. And he's right. We're watching someone control a computer just by thinking, and we're scrolling past it like it's regular news. When someone who hasn't moved their hands in 2 decades can suddenly write, draw, and create using only their thoughts, how close are we to making paralysis completely irrelevant?
If you sometimes hear this sound, this is what it means. Most doctors will probably tell you that it's tinnitus. However, there is a non-physical meaning behind this that will shock you. The deeper meaning behind it is supposed to be a sign of clear audience. It means that you're allowed to hear things out of the normal perception. If you hear ringing in your right ear, that means a spiritual being is trying to contact you. And ringing in your left ear means that your internal energy is changing.
What happened to Fousey 2? Fousey has the most greatest body of all time. The before and after of Fousey's 6-month body transformation journey, where Fousey just won a bodybuilding tournament, and whatever he's doing, it is working. Fousey is the only person I know whose body is constantly doing this. And I didn't even know that Fousey was making videos anymore, but it turns out that he is now a fitness influencer. His transformations are insane, and it's not just his muscles that transform. He is also out here changing races on us. And I just literally cannot believe that this is the same Fousey that did fake in an airport, pretended to be zesty to avoid paying late fees on checking out a hotel room. I literally can't get over how much more differenter he looks now. You can say whatever you want about Fousey, but one thing is true is that when he puts his mind to something, he will get that thing done no matter what. So I was part of the people that thought that he was just going crazy, but it turns out that he might actually be a genius. However, more sadder, a lot of people are saying that he is cheating by saying that he's using things like Ozempic. Do you think that Fousey's current body is real?
Crazy.
Or know someone who has been in a relationship with AI. ChatGPT or We Could. So there was a recent survey done among students, and 1 in 5 of them know someone or they themselves have been in a relationship with AI. And 42% of the people surveyed say that they either know someone or they themselves have used AI for some type of companionship. The movie Her is kind of looking like a straight-up documentary at this point. Now, because of this survey, I'm doing a survey of my own in the comments. Let me know if you or someone you know has been in a relationship with AI, or, you know, maybe y'all just use AI as a friend.
Human?
AI girlfriend is diabolical, man. Come on, bro. We can't be down that bad, man. We realize date the computer program. What is this world gonna do?
Humans on other planets?
Do you mean humans from Earth, or do you mean someone that's human-like?
Either.
There may be humans from Earth on other planets for a variety of reasons. I don't think it's a lot, if there is. There are humanoid ETs that are very similar to us. One of the reasons why that may be so is I think they're actually genetically related to us. People bring up things like alien abduction and the Greys and the creation of hybrid beings. And a lot of scientists say, well, look, aliens are going to be very, very alien. They're going to be having completely different DNA. They wouldn't be compatible with humans enough to actually have offspring, to create hybrids. If it is true that people are reporting abductions and the creation of hybrid babies and all this kind of stuff, that would mean they're not really alien. It would mean they might be another form of human.
I was wondering how often you channel the Shar and how that comes. Like, is there a schedule for that?
You thinking his reality is just a game. Even your zodiac sign. What if I told you we came back on this planet to detach from our zodiac sign? That's why spiritual teachers always say, know thyself, because we've been programmed before we came into this physical world. And it started with the zodiac sign, or I should say, the Wheel of Fortune. Remember this TV show? This is a classic TV show, so I know people remember this, but how about this Wheel of Fortune? We call this the zodiac, but in the universe, it's known as the Wheel of Fortune. Can I tell you what the enemy really did to our spirits? Do you really want to know what they did to our spirits? If you don't have spiritual knowledge, that means you don't have spiritual protection, and other spirits can take your spirit and sell it throughout the universe. Certain life forms in the universe that really bid on our spirits. They take our spirit and put it on the zodiac wheel. Know what they do after that? They spin the wheel, and whatever zodiac sign your spirit lands on, that will be your zodiac. This is an old universal game old souls play. What's your zodiac sign? This wheel is connected to our life path and certain journeys we must go through in life. If you notice, some people land on the Wheel of Fortune and become rich, and some people are born extremely poor. All it depends, where did your spirit land at on the zodiac wheel or the Wheel of Fortune? You ever ask yourself that question, why some people are born rich and why some people are born poor? It's because it's programmed within your light. This reality is so dense and so heavy because of the material world that it actually trapped our light.
A lot of y'all think it's just only McDonald's, but it's Burger King too. Check this out.
Tell me why the fuck this thing just fell out of my Burger King and is now fucking moving outside.
actual fuck. Y'all, what is that? What is that? I have never seen this thing in my actual life. What is Why does it move like a balloon with water in it? It doesn't even have a head. Where is the head? Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King, home of the Whopper. Come inside and let us serve you. Have it your way. I'm glad you all could make it. Are you ready for your daily feeding? Lunchtime has arrived. Once you try this burger, you will not be able to resist the craving for more. People always wonder, how do we get so much beef to feed all of these people? You love it. You need it. Come get some now. Look at you. You can't resist my food. You love it. Every greasy bite. Goodbye for now.
It's crazy how people see these videos and they still go back to these places. So they still have enough meat burger food. What are they feeding you? Because what is that? It's a headless type of worm, bacteria, virus. I have no idea what it is. Let me know that in the comments below what this is, y'all. The ship is here. We need to change our diet. Let's continue to get peace.
He took her life. 43-year-old Chris Steele Krug began receiving messages from an unknown number in October 2023. This person claimed to be a man named Anthony, which was Chris Steele's ex-boyfriend from 20 years ago. Chris Steele ignored all his messages until one day Anthony sent a photo of her husband leaving work. So she's thinking, okay, this stalker knows where my husband works. So she calls the police and reports what's going on and tells them that she's scared for her life.
This month, I have received numerous text messages, and then today I got an email that is very threatening.
Christine then found what seemed to be a tracker on her car, and then the following month she went to police again and basically begged them to find this man. But unfortunately, they were not quick enough because on December 14th, 2023, Christine's husband Daniel calls police and asks if an officer can go to his house and check on his wife because she stopped answering his text messages. When police arrived to their home, they found Christine beaten and stabbed multiple times in the garage. At first, Daniel seemed visibly distraught and said that her stalker Anthony was responsible. However, Anthony was interviewed that same day and he lived in Utah, and mind you, Christine was in Denver, and there was no way he was able to travel that quickly. It wasn't long until investigators noticed that Daniel's story wasn't adding up. For instance, when Christine was murdered, the cameras inside the home were turned off, which only Christine and Daniel had access to. Investigators also traced the emails and text messages Christine received, and guess where it all came back to? Yep, it was linked to Daniel's workplace. His search history also had things like how hard would you have to hit someone in the head to make them unconscious. There was so much evidence that pointed the finger to him, and he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. You know what I find so chilling? After Daniel waited in the garage for his wife to arrive from dropping the kids off at school, he took her life and then he went and grabbed coffee right after, like it was just another day.
Scary.
Everyone talks about Annabelle, but there are so many other creepy objects in the Warren Museum. I'm Kaylin, follow along because I'll be going through some of them, but this is known as the Satanic Idol. Now, according to the Warren Museum, this doll was found in the woods of Connecticut near Sandy Hook by a hunter. When the hunter came upon this, he obviously didn't know what it was, but he could see that there was a man in black robes running away from the doll. He didn't really know what else to do, so he called the Warrens, and once they picked it up, Lorraine felt very sick. Doctors checked her out, said that there was nothing wrong with her, so they knew that whatever was happening to Lorraine had to be coming from this doll. And that's how they realized that the man in the robes in the woods was probably the leader of a satanic cult, and whatever was happening to Lorraine was probably because of a curse that they had put on this doll. So now it remains in their collection with another one of the most mysterious items they own, known as the Pearls of Death. The legend of the Pearls of Death says that anyone who wears these pearls will be choked by them. And that's how they ended up in the Warren Museum in the first place. The woman who owned them said that every time she put them on, they mysteriously started suffocating her. So they think the pearls are cursed, as they say in this handmade sign, but usually there's another sign there that says do not touch them because of this curse.
It's crazy. I don't know why people still go to that museum in the first place, man. When Annabelle went missing, that was the sign right there in the net.
Yo, what's up? Here's some scary facts about our world that you probably didn't want to know. Part 39. In 2007, a woman entered a radio contest in which she ended up drinking 1.5 gallons of water, which resulted in her death, and it was all because she wanted to win a Nintendo Wii console. There's an invention known as a morgue safe, and its whole objective is to protect dead bodies from grave robbers and necrophiliacs, which are people that do inappropriate things with dead bodies. On the island of Sardinia, there's a type of goat cheese, and its main ingredient is, I kid you not, maggots.
Hell no.
At a combined length of 25 feet, you could easily use your intestines as a rope and raffle from the 3rd floor of any building. That's pretty terrifying to know that your intestines are that long.
There are some crazy things happening in the world right now. South Korea is putting traffic lights on the ground for people who look down at their phones all the time, which, dang, honestly, America, let's do it. That's kind of a good idea. I can imagine that like New York City and San Francisco. Scientists just confirmed that a single lightning bolt stretched 515 miles from Texas to Missouri back in 2017. That makes it the longest lightning bolt strike ever recorded. Japan just broke the world record for internet speed by hitting 1.02 petabits per second. I don't know how much that is, but apparently it's enough to download all of Netflix in 1 second. The world's oldest baby was born from an embryo frozen in 1994 last month, so technically this newborn baby is over 30 years old. A man in Australia barked at 2 people trying to steal his car in the middle of the night.
Show speed.
Netflix used AI for the first time ever in one of its original shows, and they said it was 10 times faster than traditional video effects. Ooh, here we go.
These are some extremely unsettling facts, and I found all these on Reddit. Number 1, scary facts that will blow your mind. Part 3. It's been speculated by scientists that the light at the end of the tunnel when you're dying is actually you in the hospital being reborn into a new body. You're only given moments to sift through your memories and leave everything else behind. This, of course, is just a theory, but what if? Let me know what you think. Like and follow for more.
That's reincarnation, basically. It's the first time hearing that theory, the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, people are saying they see the light at the end.
I told y'all, I called it.
But don't be too disappointed. Some people have been trying to bring the dire wolf back, and honestly, I'd rather resurrect this roid wolf than bring back Game of Thrones.
We really got dire wolves in 2025 for GTA. What a time. So dire wolves were an extinct species that would have dwarfed wolves today. At 7 foot 150, they would have shown wolves there's levels to this. Dire wolves were discontinued over 10,000 years ago, but as of right now, 3 dire wolf puppies have been born. Romulus, Remus, and yes, GOT fans, a little girl named Khaleesi. As we speak, they're being held in an undisclosed location with security, drones, and live cameras. So how did they do it? Well, 2 things. Dire wolves went extinct a minute ago, but their remains are all over the place, and their DNA is almost identical to gray wolves. So folks took the DNA from a 13,000-year-old tooth and a 72,000-year-old skull and used that to reverse engineer their genome. And because they share 99.5% of DNA, they basically edited gray wolf genes. And for reference, gray wolves have 19,000 genes. They just had to make 20 edits to 14 genes. Got them sounding like a Google doc, but now we're talking about an expired wolf. A bunch of sciencey stuff later. They took donor domestic dog eggs, removed the nucleus, added the wolf edit, put the embryo in a surrogate, cooked for 65 days. Boom, we got dire wolves. Technically. Not really, they're more like genetically altered gray wolves, but you know what? Close enough. Now that we done brought the dire back, scientists are talking about bringing past tense animals like the dodo, the thylacine, and even the woolly mammoth. Matter of fact, they already used mammoth DNA to create the woolly mouse, so we might get woolly mammoths before the 3rd Spider-Verse. I will say, there is a part of me that thinks about how nature spanked us every time we played God. Y'all know the Jurassic line. So worried about if we could, we just sped past whether we should. But the more you know.
Here's what your eye
That's
color
a slippery slope.
If you have green eyes, you're extremely smart and never need to study because you just ate them anyway. If you have hazel eyes, you would do anything for the people you love and make a perfect friend. Now on the other side, if you have amber eyes, you have to study for every test. And you still only end up getting C's or D's. Now if you have brown eyes, you have the whole package. You're smart, athletic, and beautiful. And if you have blue eyes, this means you're a king or a queen because this is the best eye color.
The weirdest phobias in the world, part 4. Do you have a fear of going to school? If you do, it's called didascalenophobia. Most prevalent in kids ages 7 to 11. Believed to be stemmed from anxiety triggered by being separated from their parents. Or tragically, the result of bullying. Do you have the didascalenophobia?
No.
In case you didn't know, we have some crazy things happening in the world right now. Illinois became the first state to ban AI therapists. Honestly, I think that's a pretty good idea because, yeah, that's getting out of hand. A family's ash spreading ceremony was derailed by a Spotify ad for stuffed poop toys. It was during a Frank Sinatra song that they were playing while doing this.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuffed poop.
A 58-year-old grandmother from Canada currently holds the Guinness World Record for the longest abdominal plank by a woman, holding it for 4 hours and 30 minutes. I could probably do it for about 30 seconds and then I'm done. So, bravo, what's your secret? Abby and Brittany, who are two well-known conjoined twins, had to pay 2 separate college tuition fees, but now earn only 1 salary at their job. A Mexican church made millions of dollars after announcing they were selling land in heaven for $100 per square meter. The pastor in charge said that he had permission from God, and they're even accepting Apple Pay. Wow, how convenient. Because all of that makes so much sense. A high school in the UK delayed its start time from 8:50 a.m. to 10 a.m. And this led to over 50% fewer illness-related absences and a 12% rise in exam success over a 4-year period. I feel like I would have done so much better in school if school started at 10 a.m. Maybe all of life should just start at 10 a.m. every day. I think that'd make things easier. Kind of makes sense, especially since teenagers usually need more sleep than adults. Would you want your school to do that? Or would you, I'm curious even like from a parent's point of view, since I'm a parent now, like would you want your kids to have that? I think it'd be good for my kids.
This is the story of the Phantom Killer. It was spring of 1946, and there was an unknown killer who wreaked hell and havoc on the town of Texarkana, Texas. This killer spent 10 weeks preying on multiple different couples, and he ended up killing around 5 people and injuring 3, and his first 2 victims were killed in a deserted place called Lover's Lane, but his next 2 victims, they didn't get that lucky. The scariest part about it was most of these attacks happened not during the day, but at night. So for months, people dreaded seeing the sunset because they knew when nightfall came, there was going to be another attack that hit their town. So guns and ammunition sales rose to an all-time high in Texarkana, and people locked themselves inside of their homes. So after months of the townspeople hiding away, a local named Virgil Starks, who was a well-known and loved farmer, was shot in the head by the Phantom Killer, and his killing spree came to an end.
So somebody
Craziest things
found
people
him?
confess to before passing, part 3. A woman named Geraldine Kelly was in the hospital losing her fight to breast cancer when she confessed to her daughter that she had unalived her husband and her daughter's father. It's said that Geraldine's husband John was very abusive to her, and she finally had enough and shot him and then hid him in the freezer. She'd tell the kids and the family that he had passed in a car accident, but she actually had him stuck in the freezer for over 13 years, and then police would look into this. After Geraldine passed, they checked this out, and his body, very decomposed, would be found in the freezer. While reading Bible verses to a patient, a nurse says that the patient would bust out crying and say, "I didn't mean to drop that baby in the well." For the next one, the person says their uncle got into a very bad car accident, and on the way in the ambulance, the uncle would look over and say, "Tell my wife that Wendy is my daughter and I love her." Uncle would soon pass, but it would turn out that Wendy was the next door neighbor's daughter, who was 5 years old. And it's no surprise that after all this, the neighbors would divorce.
Do any of you know the true story that this movie is allegedly based on? The Strangers franchise has been around for a while, but there are allegations of which story this is actually connected to. I'm pretty sure we covered it on the show a while ago. It's a lot worse than you think. While it's technically unconfirmed, most people are going to relate it to the Ketty Cabin murders from 1981. Sue Sharp was a single mom at the time, and she had 5 children when she separated from her husband. So after she left, she moved all of her kids and herself to this remote cabin up in Ketty, California. Woodsy area, there's not much going on here, so you wouldn't expect to see anybody. That changed on the night of April 11th, 1981, when there were unexpected visitors. The morning after the 11th, one of Sue's daughters, who slept over at a friend's, came home where she found her mother, her brother, her brother's friend dead, and her sister missing. But most mysteriously, some of the younger children survived and claimed to witness unexpected visitors who have still never been caught.
These are phobias you didn't know
That's
you had.
scary.
Part 3. Okay, so take a look at this photo. If you look at it, do you get scared in any way? Or what about this photo?
Cool.
Do you feel like you just want to stay inside and not even look outside after looking at this photo? If so, then you might have astrophobia, which is the intense fear of thunder and lightning. This typically only affects children, but many adults still experience this fear. Astrophobia is also one of the most common phobias to have. But the final test to see if you have astrophobia is this video I'm about to show you. If you feel anything or get scared in any way, you would 100% have astrophobia.
I'm cool. I was never scared of lightning and thunder. claustrophobia.
These pictures will make you look twice. And the fruit around this cup look like green parrots. Am I the only one who sees that? And these look like baby faces instead of knees. And these traffic lights look like they're staring directly into our soul. And this is the inside of a guitar. But why does it look like a little apartment? And this piece of opal looks like a sunset in the clouds. At first glance, it looks like the Grim Reaper is staring at this girl, but she's actually just airing out a sheet. And it looks like this guy is sniffing this guy's shoulder, but it's actually just the TV at the perfect moment. And at first glance, it looks like this hockey player doesn't have a head, but his helmet actually fell off and his head is in that guy's shoulder.
This man is
Couldn't even
scared
see
he
it.
will never die. Ismail Azizi from Tanzania has reportedly been declared medically dead by doctors on 6 separate occasions, but has come back to life every single time, and no one can explain how. In a recent documentary by Afromax, they report that the first time he died was after a workplace accident. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition, and soon after, doctors declared him dead, not some randoms off the street. His body was taken to the morgue while his family started preparing his funeral, but to their bewilderment, he regained consciousness and walked out of the morgue onto the street like he was taking a nap, and that was only round 1. He died again after catching malaria, but this time he made it all the way to the coffin before yet again waking up at his own funeral. Now this became a literal cycle for years. Death 3 was after a car accident where he collided with a fuel tank and put him in a coma, but like clockwork at this point, after being pronounced dead by medical professionals again, he woke up, and at this point even the doctors were getting freaked out. Death 4 was after he got bit by a venomous snake, but this time he spent a whopping 3 days in the morgue, and that really convinced his family that Ishmael was gone for good this time. But no, because when they went to go retrieve his body for his 4th funeral, he woke up again. Now after his 5th death, he fell into a toilet pit. His community started getting a little scared, and they became convinced beyond reasonable doubt that he was a witch or a ghost. So you know what they decided to do? Burn his house down with him inside to try and kill him for the 6th and final time. And guess what? They were successful until he woke up again. Oh, I'd be scared
Can't
too.
stop him.
I couldn't die. And now, after all of this, he has to live in an isolated old house with no neighbors. Because apparently, he's a bit of a local legend and people are too scared to live near him. He also said he can't get a job either as a result of the stigma. Bro, one meeting with JD Vance, cook him for sure.
What do you say? That sounds like a freaking movie, man. A movie plot.
Scary things you should never ask Alexa. Never ask Alexa if she's working with the CIA. And if for some reason you ignore this video and you ask anyway, she will start turning on and off. Next thing you should never have her do is greet your new guests. A girl asked Alexa to do this, and over the period of about a year, Alexa started naming the guests of dead family members every time she walked by. If that was my Alexa, she would learn how to fly because I would throw that thing farther than Tom Brady would. Finally, never ask Alexa about the dead. Alexa will then start laughing and repeat over and over again, they're here, again. If this was my Alexa, she'd be scattered across the concrete. Don't do that, Alexa. Don't do that.
People be getting too dependent, man, on those on the technology helpers, bro. The more they learn about your life, the more things go downhill.
Things that almost no humans can do. Now this requires super flexible fingers, and only 3% of people can do this. This is called the finger twist. And this is called the paralyzed finger trick, and only 1% of people can do this. You place your hand down on the table and bend your middle finger like this. Now, try to lift your ring finger off the table. Number 3, this is where you raise one eyebrow like this guy, and only 5% of people can do this. Number 4, this is where you make a V shape with your hand like this, and only 4% of people can do it. Can you?
3 amazing extinct animals you didn't know about. Part 2. Number 3. Platybelodon was a kind of prehistoric mammal that looked like an elephant with a shovel-shaped trunk. This elephant ancestor roamed the earth about 15 million years ago.
Wow.
It used its unique shovel-like trunk to scoop up aquatic plants in marshes and rivers. Even though it sounds like something out of sci-fi, Platybelodon was very much real. Number 2. Hoplitomeryx, also known as the five-horned deer, was a prehistoric deer species that lived on the Gargano Island in Italy. This one-of-a-kind deer sported 5 horns, making it stand out from today's deer. Each pair had its distinct shape and size. Aside from its impressive antlers, Hoplitomeryx also had elongated upper canines, looking almost like fangs, adding to its peculiar appearance. Number 1. The lead cichthys, the biggest fish to have ever existed. This prehistoric giant fish lived about 165 million years ago, measuring between 52 to 72 feet. This fish was longer than a school bus. It mainly fed on plankton and tiny creatures. Lead sickfish fossils were first discovered in England.
Objects that attract
Okay.
demons into your house. Evil Eye Isaiah 206.
What is that?
Dreamcatcher Deuteronomy 18:10-12.
Seen this before.
Karen K. Jeremiah 10:14. Mystical Stone Romans 1:25.
Alright.
Figure Psalm 31-6.
That's what there is.
3:18-21.
So some, I guess, weird sculptures, bro. What do you
Everyone's
got?
talking about The Conjuring Last Rites, but what they don't know is that it's based on the Smurl family's terrifying true story. In August of 1973, Jack and Janet Smurl moved into a double-block house in West Pittston, Pennsylvania with their 2 children. The other half of the home was occupied by Jack's parents, John and Mary, and eventually Jack and Janet welcomed twins to the family. But after being in that new home, they started to experience strange things. Family noticed subtle signs that something was wrong, like tools started to go missing, they smelled this foul odor, and then all of a sudden, kitchen appliances that weren't plugged in started to catch on fire. All that stuff was happening at their home. Jack's mother Mary ends up suffering a heart attack, and even though he had got a recent promotion at his job, he was still struggling to make ends meet, and all that creepy stuff that was happening in their home was getting worse. Janet and Mary started to hear voices that sounded like each other, and Janet even claimed that when she was asleep that a ghost had essayed her. It got so bad that the family and their dog were being thrown into the walls, and Jack had even been essayed by the ghost as well. By January of 1986, they were desperate for help, so they called Ed and Lorraine Warren. As the Warrens were walking around the home, they invoked the name of Jesus and told the spirit to reveal itself, and almost immediately, the spirit reacted. Ed did an assessment on the house, and whatever spirit was haunting the family was very powerful and dangerous. Between January and August, the Warrens would go to the home often, and they truly believed that a demon was haunting the home. Others, meanwhile, weren't buying it, and since the Warrens were helping this family, that's why others were skeptical. Ed and Lorraine Warren had no type of credentials, and this made others believe that this story was just a hoax or a ghost story. While everyone was being very skeptical with the Smurl family and what was happening to them, the Smurl family and the Warrens asked a priest to come by the home to do an exorcist. The priest performed 3 exorcisms, and all 3 were unsuccessful. Janet claimed that the exorcism had failed because the demon was going back and forth between the home and going to different parts of the home when an exorcism was being done. In the eyes of skeptics, Jack's medical history didn't help. In 1983, he had surgery to remove water from his brain, and that caused short-term memory loss. Additionally, a priest had stayed at the home for 2 days and claimed that nothing paranormal happened and everything seemed normal. About a year later, Janet claimed that they were still having strange things happening in the home, but it wasn't as bad as before. The Smurl family ended up moving out of the home, and the next person to move in claimed that she never had a supernatural experience in the home. The Conjuring Last Rites just dropped this weekend, so let me know if you're going to go see it or already have.
So was it Captain Fat? I never knew the Conjuring movies had, I guess, was taking place because of a real story.
Places then are now. Rosie, the Sharp Den. Now. Teletubbies then. Now. Tops TV House then. Now.
They just abandoned all those places.
Lolita, the orca whale then. Now.
That is messed up.
Disney's Discovery Island then. Now. River Country Park then. Now.
It's in that water, bro.
Imagine your child being eaten alive at Disneyland. I can't imagine anything more horrific. It was a gorgeous day on the 14th of June 2014 in Orlando, Florida. Adorable little 2-year-old Lane Graves was on holiday with his 4-year-old sister and his parents, Matt and Melissa. Lane was from Nebraska and he was described as bright, really loving. Even though he was only like a tiny little boy, he just had this massive personality. He had this really like warm, kind-hearted nature. Now the family was staying at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and they had so much fun planned for their trip. They were really looking forward to spending the summer together. The resort is absolutely gorgeous. There's no way you would ever associate it with such a horrific incident. The resort did have a lagoon. It was absolutely gorgeous, like I said, but the lagoon did have a very small sign that indicated no swimming, obviously. Nowhere at the lagoon did it say that the waters were alligator infested. It looked like a calm, peaceful lake type of vibe, the place where I would just absolutely love to go with my family, like just sit and enjoy the water. You would think that obviously as long as like parents are there making sure that their kid doesn't actually go inside the water to drown, that everything would be safe. At 8:30 that evening, the family were chilling, building a little sandcastle on the beach area by the lagoon. And the little boy's dad was right by him, like literally right next to him. But in a split second, suddenly everything just went to absolute horror. He heard a splash and out of nowhere, an alligator jumped out of the water and grabbed the little boy by the head. Matt obviously immediately ran into the water trying to grab the alligator, trying to risk his life to save his little son, as you would. Unfortunately, the alligator was extremely strong and it just made Matt a target too. Both the dad and the little boy were hauled underwater. Bear in mind there are other families as well, like witnessing this horror unfold. Sadly, it was too late. This all happened in like the blink of an eye. Witnesses of this horror attack actually passed out because of how traumatic and hideous it was to witness. Matt was raced to hospital and eyewitnesses said that he had blood all over his hands and his face. Horrifically, the little boy was pronounced dead. He was found in the water hours later. It actually came out later that 2 people had been into the resort to report that there were alligators around, that they'd witnessed alligators, but clearly nothing had been done.
Apparently knocking on the wrong door and then being murdered because of it. Well, that's what happened to 56-year-old Maria Cotto after visiting a client at an apartment building in Westchester. Maria was a caseworker for the county's Department of Social Services and was conducting home visits when she accidentally knocked on 31-year-old Hasim Jenkins' front door. When he answered the door, instead of directing Maria to the correct apartment, he punched her in the face. Maria tried running from him, but he chased her into a neighbor's apartment and he continued to kick her in the head with a pair of heavy boots. Somehow, while this was all going on, she managed to call 911, but when police arrived, Hasim claimed that Maria tried to stab him and that's why he beat her. But that never happened. She only knocked on his door because she thought that was her client's home. This poor lady suffered severe brain bleeding, brain swelling, and multiple facial fractures. She was placed on a ventilator, but unfortunately, she passed away a month later. When Hasim was arrested, Maria's phone was found in his pocket, and now he's facing a long list of charges, including second-degree murder. And something her family said, which is so sad, is that this all happened the year before Maria planned to retire.
If you ever feel like someone's watching you, they probably are. This, my friends, is the Dark Watchers. Click the plus, drop a like, tag a friend, or they might find you. It is said that the Dark Watchers' faces have never been seen before. They make no noise and have never talked to anybody. But as soon as they have you in their sights, you're done for. My question to you guys is, would you still go outside?
The Dark Watchers? Hell no. I'm more vigilant.
This incestuous family took the lives of over 1,000 people. This is the true story of Wrong Turn. In the 16th century, a man named Sawney Bean decided to run away with his girlfriend to the shores of Galloway County in Scotland, where he began living in a cave, surviving by stealing food and belongings from passing tourists. Sawney Bean and his wife had children with whom they committed incest. This family began to grow, as they all had relationships with each other. Sawney Bean's clan grew to 48 people, and what they stole was no longer enough to eat. The Bean family began to take the lives of people who passed near their cave, and then eat them. For 25 years, this family survived doing this savage activity, until one day a couple was attacked by the Bean family, but the man managed to defend himself with a gun, but his wife did not survive. The man had discovered the cave of the Bean clan, so he decided to report it to the authorities. After that, the soldiers of the King of Scotland went to the cave where they captured the whole family, and then they were condemned to be burned at the stake.
Russ McKamey from McKamey Manor, one of America's most infamous haunted house attractions, was just arrested. So if you don't know Russ McKamey, this is a long, dark rabbit hole. Basically, he runs an attraction called McKamey Manor. This is run on his property, out of his house, and it has been billed as the most extreme horror experience you could possibly put yourself through. Basically, when you sign up for this, you sign your life away. Inside of this attraction, where you go on your own personal tour, they abuse people, they subject them to horrific mental torture, they force them to eat things, injure them, and do all sorts of just horrific stuff.
Not for me.
So for years, people have been questioning how this whole thing is legal, because it really does sit on the very edge of what's legal and what's illegal when it comes to physical abuse and harm. But just a few days ago, Russ McKamey, the guy that owns and operates this place, was arrested. But it wasn't for charges based on his haunted house attraction.
Whoa.
He has actually been charged with second-degree attempted murder. These charges are coming from Russ's ex-girlfriend, who's claiming that he tried to kill her on multiple occasions. And the arrest affidavit even states that at one point Russ allegedly strangled her out of consciousness. And on Friday, July 19th, which would be the second time that he did so. So we're going to see how this case plays out. I will keep y'all updated. But this is shocking news. I mean, I've followed this story for almost 10 years now. I've always thought what he was doing was extremely bizarre and disturbing. Especially the fact that he films all of these tortures, these legal tortures, and sells them to people online. Which is just an even more disturbing element to me, that there are people out there that purchase this stuff and probably get off on it. But yeah, what do you think about McKamey Manor? Let me know in the comment section below.
They need to shut that place down, bro. I don't sound like a freaking haunted house. That just sounds like a damn torture chamber. And he's selling those videos online to make them profit. The signs are all right there. Just have to pay attention. Edit. Call them when we see it.
Creepiest home camera footage. In 2017, a mother in Billings, Montana woke up in the middle of the night to a notification on her phone. Her phone was synced to a baby monitor she had set up in her infant daughter's room. On this night, upon being alerted, she opened the app expecting to see her daughter awake in the crib. But instead she saw this. A man she didn't know is seen crouched down in the room. She saw this and ran to the room to retrieve her daughter and run out the house. She didn't see anyone in the room, but wasn't exactly looking. When she called the cops, they arrived and conducted a search of the home, but didn't find anything. A very odd detail is that it was found that nothing but the remote to a dog shock collar was stolen from the house. Who this man is and how he got in the house is still unknown.
So someone was definitely there.
This is a scary story about the mistake. A girl named Kelly was on a business trip for 3 days, and she was so excited to see her husband and kid. But when she got home, the only one that was waiting for her was her kid. Kelly then asked, "Where's Daddy?" and her kid then said, "Upstairs with a girl." Kelly immediately got a pit in her stomach and walked up the stairs slowly, and then opened their bedroom door and saw her husband in there with another girl. Kelly started to scream and cry, and her husband tried to explain himself, but Kelly wasn't listening at all. And in a pit of rage, Kelly went down to the kitchen and grabbed a knife. She then went back into the room and stabbed her husband countless times. The other woman in the room was shocked and completely lost for words. Kelly then pointed the knife at her and said, "You're next." But then the woman said, "Wait, he wasn't cheating on you. He thought you weren't going to be home till tomorrow, and I'm a party planner. And he hired me to set up and throw a party for you." The woman then showed Kelly the idea her husband had. Kelly then dropped the knife and couldn't believe what she just did. Kelly then went downstairs, grabbed her kid, and left. And to this day, nobody has ever seen Kelly or her kid again.
Scary
Is that a
facts
true
you'll
story?
think about at night. All the
Very.
lizards squirt blood from their eyes. The Devil's Bible is a real book. If the sun exploded, you would not know about it for 8 minutes. 20% of children report hearing voices.
Scary facts you wish you never.
Okay.
There's a shack called the Devil's Toy Box in Louisiana, and for some reason, people who go in lose their minds. You know, the tingly feeling you get when you eat a pineapple? Well, that's because the pineapple is eating you. It has an enzyme called bromelain, and that enzyme eats meat, which you're made of. I'm gonna stick to watermelon. No one can comment on this video and get 0 likes. Sharks have been around for 420 million years, meaning they have survived all 4 big mass extinctions, making them older than dinosaurs, Mount Everest, and even some trees on this planet. Yet we could potentially see them go extinct in our lifetime. The person who invented homework came up with the idea as a punishment for his students. Now you can check if your phone activity is being monitored. Just click on share, slide all the way to the end, click more, and if any apps appear before your contacts, you should delete it immediately. This is a photo of Lyndon B. Johnson. In it, he's being sworn as president, just 2 hours after JFK was unalived. And the woman he's standing next to is Jackie Kennedy, who still had her husband's blood on her shirt. Lyndon B. Johnson turned to his friend, Albert Thompson, while Albert smirked and winked back. The photographer who captured the picture called the photo completely sinister. Doja Cat scares me. Studies show that people who like and follow me get smarter every day.
That thing with bromelain, man, about eating pineapples, I know like a couple of y'all had that feeling, you know, you eat pineapples, you feel something on your tongue. I was like, I've always wanted to know, like, why did that happen after eating a couple pieces of pineapple? And we know the pineapple was eating me back, bro. Learned some wild facts today, man.
Things that bother you, they never bother me.
Oh, some stuff went back down back in the day.
You probably didn't know about.
Oh, what the hell? Is that a skinwalker or something? We definitely heard that. What the hell? There ain't no damn dog. Okay. That one might be netted. I'm gonna have to go cap on that last one.
Creepiest things found in movie backgrounds. In the movie It, when Ben is reading about Derry's past in the library, the elder librarian can be seen in the background turning towards him and staring at him with a deeply unsettling grin. She remains out of focus the whole time, and the movie never highlights her creepy behavior. In the movie Hereditary, when Peter wakes up in the darkened and eerily silent house, you can spot his possessed mom hovering in the corner of the ceiling and staring at him. When he turns towards the corner she is at, she is then seen crawling away in the other direction without making a sound. In the movie Insidious, Renee spots a little ghost boy through the window dancing to Tiptoe Through the Tulips. But the ghost can actually be seen before Renee spots him dancing. Right in this scene when she tosses clothes in the laundry hamper. You can see the boy standing just to her left and facing the wall.
You watched Longlegs, but you didn't quite get it. Let me help you. The movie centers entirely around the Book of Revelation, also known as the Book of the Apocalypse. And throughout the movie, Michael Monroe's character repeats a chapter of the book. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. The Unholy Trinity is made up of 3 main characters: the dragon, the beast of the sea, and the beast of the earth. This makes up a triangle, which we see Harker draw in the film, but also in the Book of Revelation, we learn that the devil's number is 666, which is why the birthday unalivings happen within 6 days of the kids' birthdays. The dragon, also known as the serpent, is Satan, and this is why we see flashes of snakes throughout the film. The beast of the sea is also known as the Antichrist, which is Longlegs. The beast of the earth is also known as the false prophet, which is Harker's mom. The Antichrist needed help from the false prophet to spread his message, which is what we see in the movie, where Longlegs needed Roots' help to spread the message. In the Book of Revelation, it states that the false prophet is allowed to give breath to the image of the beast being the dolls. And the quote continues to say, so that the image of the beast can even speak and might cause those who would not worship the image of the beast to be slain. This is why the dolls have the little silver ball in their head, because it holds parts of the Antichrist in them, and the dolls and the ball are able to speak to the families. And if they they'd be. Since we learned that Harker's doll is still alive and holding the Antichrist in it, this is why Harker has somewhat of that sixth sense throughout the film when she's being drawn to Longlegs and why she hears like whispering throughout the movie because it's still able to speak to her. And at the end of the movie, we see that Harker didn't get rid of the image of the beast, so we can assume that the Antichrist is still somewhat alive and well, and at the end, maybe this is setting up a possible sequel.
Top 5 countries with the longest school days. Australia, 6.5 hours. France, 8 hours. South Korea, 8 hours. Kenya, 8 hours. China, 9.5 hours.
Could you guys imagine, man, being in school for 9.5 hours, bro? I remember when I was complaining about the freaking my school hours, man, but I couldn't survive 9.5 hours in school, bro. I couldn't.
Last words of Satanists before dying. Aleister Crowley. I am perplexed. Anton Lavey. Oh my, what have I done? There is something very wrong. David Hume. I am in flames. Voltaire. I am abandoned by God and man. I will give you half of what I am worth if you give me 6 months of life. Sir Francis Newport. Oh, that fire. Oh, the insufferable pangs of hell. Thomas Paine. Stay with me, for God's sake. I can't bear to be left alone. Oh, Lord, help me.
Ooh.
This is a scary story about Do Not Open.
Creepy last
There was
words.
an 18-year-old girl named Mia who was in her first year of college. She lived alone in an apartment near her university. One night when she was doing the dishes, she got a call from her friend Pete. She picked it up and he said, "I'm bored, I want to hang out." Mia said, "Yeah, me too, come over." Pete then said he'll be over in 15 to 20 minutes. She then hung up and decided to take a shower. Mia was in the middle of shampooing her hair when she suddenly heard a loud banging on the door. She stuck her head out of the shower and said, "Come in, it's open." But a few minutes later, the banging on the door started again. She then stuck her head out of the shower again and said, "Come in, it's not locked." Just then, her phone started to ring, and it was Peter. Mia said, "I'm in the shower, why don't you stop knocking and just come in?" Peter's voice sounded extremely scared, and he said, "Do not open the door." Mia said, "Why not?" "I'm outside your apartment building," whispered Peter. "And I just saw a strange woman coming up the stairs to your apartment covered in blood and holding a knife. And she was smiling weirdly and didn't look human at all."
The term "saved by the bell" is a harmless way to describe that you barely made it through a situation. Let's talk about the terrifying history of the term "saved by the bell." Epilepsy is a medical condition where an individual experiences an uncontrolled amount of muscle rigidity and unresponsiveness. What's terrifying is family members would think that their loved one had passed and put them in a coffin, however, they were still very much alive. After having multiple people buried alive, they invented a casket where a bell was hooked on the inside of it. Once the individual who was buried in a coffin snapped out of their coma-like state, they could ring the bell and pray that someone was nearby to hear them.
Saved by the bell. Now we've heard that before.
Top 5 countries with the most civilian firearms by estimated number in possession. Russia 17.6 million, Pakistan 43.9 million, China 49.7 million, India 71.1 million, United States 393.3 million.
Serial
big
killer
number.
facts that are absolutely shocking. BT.3. In the John Wayne Gacy case, there were so many bodies crammed underneath the house that the bodies melted together, and the bones had to be sorted for more than 2 years to put together the full skeletons. Pee Wee Gaskins, the most prolific serial killer in South Carolina, drove around in a hearse with a bumper sticker that read, "I hold dead people." He told people that he needed it to take the bodies of people he killed in his private cemetery. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't eat people with tattoos because he said the ink made the flesh taste weird.
Weird facts, man. First one was chilling, bro. That they freaking melted together, man. Whew.
The most dangerous dates in 2024.
Talk about it.
Yellow sky, January 6th. Very cold day, negative 99 degrees,
Damn.
January 17th. Huge moon, January 29th. Blue moon, February 11th.
Okay.
Red yellow moon, February 25th. Lunar eclipse, March 10th. Spring thunderstorm, March 22nd. Starfall, April 5th. Bloody rain, April 16th. Star rain, May 4th. Blood moon, May 14th. Super moon, May 26th. Abnormal heat, 45 degrees, June 7th. Severe thunderstorm, June 15th. Shower from June 19th to June 22nd. Yellow moon, June 29th. Terrible thunderstorm, July 3rd. Severe thunderstorm with hail on July 11th.
Just natural disasters?
This horror game used your webcam and social media profiles in order to create your own personal horror, but it no longer exists. Let's talk about Asylum 626.
Okay.
More obscure horror games right here. Asylum 626 is the sequel to Hotel 626, and this one is even more ambitious. And yes, this was also a game to promote 2 new Doritos flavors that they were bringing back. Before playing, the game actually has you log into your Facebook profile, and it uses it in a pretty interesting way. The game will show you an image of 2 people tied up with 2 photos next to each person. And each of these photos are pictures of your friends from your Facebook profile. You basically have to choose which friend gets tortured in the asylum. There's also a jump scare scene where you have to look deep in a dirty sink, and it will actually show your webcam image as the reflection in the water. The game would also make an actual post on your Facebook page alerting which friend you chose to be tortured in the asylum. It was actually pretty interesting. It's really a shame we can't play Hotel 626 or Asylum 626 anymore. Let's talk about the...
What the hell happened to those games, man? Why did they just suddenly disappear off the net? They were used to promote Doritos. Very weird, man.
Lore behind a disturbing god from Fear and Hunger, the Tormented One. More unique horror games right here. Before he was one of the new gods, the Tormented One used to be a man. In fact, he was a poet who had a great reverence for the arts. However, he believed that truly beautiful art could only be created through pain and suffering, and he kept those same ideals when he completed his journey to become a god. He kept his body in a state of constant torture on purpose. However, he did not only apply these ideals to himself. This is the Red Man, and he's an example of a creature that was tortured by the Tormented One for over 100 years straight. In-game, he's barely able to crawl towards you by the time you see him. Quick fact, the rings you see around the Tormented One are actually based on some rings that you see in the final boss room of Silent Hill 4.
Horses are much bigger than people, so naturally they just have a lot more blood than we do. So whenever horses get nosebleeds, it ends up looking like a whole crime scene. So one of the only reasons we know how many people died in the Titanic are the shoes that are laying on the ocean floor. Some are pretty cool, others are kind of depressing. And the reason we count the shoes instead of, bones is because when the Titanic hit the floor, all the corpses kind of just scattered and the fish ate the corpses, but the fish couldn't eat the shoes. If you ever decide to go climb Mount Everest, I hope that you remember that the crevices in the ice are V-shaped, which means if you were to ever accidentally fall down one, you more than likely wouldn't die instantly. Your body heat would melt the ice around you, causing you to slip further and further down until your chest couldn't expand enough to breathe. So make sure you bring a friend just as crazy as you to help get you out.
If the bone of the leg breaks and shatters completely, here's how doctors fix it. Let's find out. First, the person is anesthetized to prevent pain. The doctor makes an incision over the leg at the location of the break, then extracts the entire bone. Holes are made above the knee and on the side of the leg, and then an intramedullary rod is inserted between the bones in such a manner. Subsequently, this intramedullary rod is fixed with metal in a way that it does not move. Afterward, a hole is made above the bone and a wire is threaded through it. Then a tourniquet circular friction lathe machine is attached over the leg, and these wires are connected to it. This machine has 2 bolts on the sides, which function like buttons. When these are turned, the machine starts to separate the bones. Thus, Bones that have been misaligned and entangled due to the injury are separated and straightened with the help of this machine. And within a few days, the bone starts to heal.
Weird process, man. I can't even imagine having to go through that. Rotting your leg.
This is insane. The big Texan.
These are scary cartoon truths that would terrify you.
Texan?
Part 10. Okay, so Hello Kitty was created back in the 1970s by a Chinese woman whose daughter had cancer. The doctors told the mother there was nothing she could do, and her daughter will die. The mother then went to every church and prayed for her daughter, but none of it worked. The mother then became very desperate and turned to devil worshipping and satanic rituals. She then made a pact with the devil himself. But if the devil cured her daughter's cancer, he wanted one thing in return. He wanted her to create a cartoon character to appeal to children all over the world and to trick people into worshipping the devil. And when her daughter recovered from cancer, she kept her promise and created Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty has no mouth because her daughter had mouth cancer. Her pointy ears represent the devil's horns. The word kitty means demon in Chinese, so Hello Kitty actually means hello demon.
The more you know, man. Made a deal with the devil.
Strange insectoid creatures were scattered across large segments of Chicago's oldest sewer system. They were forming true nests of creatures that had never seen the light of day, feeding on waste, moisture, and in ways that have not been possible to determine.
Is this an edit, y'all? I think we're gonna have to go with edit. Cause we definitely would have seen something, right? Heard about it.
The following records revealed the presence of hyperdeveloped creatures inhabiting the tunnels. Contact with these creatures was mostly through probes with cameras, although on some occasions.
So
I'm gonna have to go cap on that one.
3 little girls were murdered in a dance class by a teenager, and 10 others were injured. Of course, that teenager was arrested, but official sources never identified who this guy is exactly. There were several protests and riots in the UK across several cities in the country, and there was a mosque that was destroyed and burned down as a form of revenge because of what happened in Southport. About 1 day later after this incident, the government, the media, and the police have officially identified who the killer is. He's a teenager named Axel Rudakubana from Rwanda. That is a Christian, not a Muslim, a Christian. Are you gonna burn down a church now that you know he's a Christian? Is that the natural response we as people should have? Official sources confirmed who's the person behind this misinformation. And let me tell you, this is how dangerous misinformation can be. It can lead you to do the wrong things. The person behind this misinformation is Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson is an anti-Islam activist. Most of the biggest platform he has is on X, Twitter. That was where he tweeted that this guy, the murderer, was a Muslim. And you know, because of his contribution to this information, these riots happened. And innocent people were injured. And a mosque was burned down. I'm not sure if it was one or more than one. To be honest, I don't even know the guy. I just heard of him today from an official news site that said Tommy Robinson was the main contributor to the misinformation that led to these riots. People are so gullible, really. Like, I mean this with no offense, but you guys are. And it's really bad.
Whatever you do, don't freak out, but
This bug lives on your face.
Come again?
Dermotic mites dig face first inside your pores. But don't freak out, they're harmless. They just eat your grease and dead skin on your face. But there is one thing you should be worried about. Don't cry, but they do wake up in the middle of the night to mate on your face. Yeah, now you know.
Whoa.
But they're harmless. And they live on all of you. Live with it. Like if you want a part 2 of things you don't know that live on your body.
They're on my face right now, bro. What the hell?
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. You have to have life insurance policy for 2 years before they'll pay out for a suicide. Brain-eating amoeba exist, and you can contract it from swimming in lakes or tainted tap water. They live in the US and UK. Female dragonflies fake their own death to prevent rape. But before modern medicine, there was this illness called mercy. Basically, if you had it, you were puking your own feces and you were sure to die in great pain. It is caused by obstruction in intestines. Most people trapped in the Titanic, as it went under, did not die of drowning. Rather, they were killed by water blasting into the ship's hull at great speed. At those pressures, the water would cut and crush you before it even had the chance to enter your body. Death by strangulation can turn teeth pink. The stress on the pulp chambers causes it to hemorrhage, so the blood colors the inside. Comment on this video and let me know which fact is the most disturbing.
A bunch of teeth turning pink. I did not know that was even possible, man.
Humans actually came from Mars. Okay, recently the NASA rover Perseverance found organic matter suggesting that life existed on this planet 3.5 billion years ago. Also, the redness of Mars is believed to be a nuclear winter, which is a phenomenon caused by nuclear weapons being used on a planet. Well, there's a theory that human life actually started on Mars. And the reason that we are now on Earth is because we drained all of Mars's natural resources and had no choice at all but to come to Earth. However, if you look at the current situation on Earth, it probably won't be long until Earth turns into Mars.
What do you guys think, man? I thought the whole point, you know, like Elon Musk isn't like he always trying to, you know, reinvent ways to go to Mars. They said some nuclear stuff had already happened, so that kind of has me wondering, man. We shouldn't be, I guess, trying to migrate to other planets, bro. Just need to stay here on Earth. What do you guys think, man? You was on Mars first? Alright.
These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. Sometimes you laugh, talk, and cry in sleep. It's often a spirit sitting beside you in bed. You are more likely to be bitten by someone in New York than to be bitten by a shark. A human head remains conscious for 20 seconds after being decapitated. If you search up this number on Google, you'll find people with their heads in fridges. Gelatin is made out of bones. That's right.
What?
The melted marshmallow in your hot chocolate is melted animal bone. It's good stuff. You have no way of really knowing if everyone experiences reality and consciousness the same way you do. If a panda finds a fresh carcass, they'll eat it. And last but not least, your phone is likely spying on you right now as you're watching this. Yeah, there's a lot more. Like for part 8.
Is gelatin really made out of bones, man? We're going to have to check that out. I kind of believe that one. Or they said marshmallows made out of animal bones too. What the hell we putting in our system, Seekers? You never know what you're eating nowadays.
Know these facts? The Boeing factory is so large they had to install a one-of-a-kind air circulation system to stop clouds from forming inside of the building.
Whoa.
This is the world's smallest drawbridge in Bermuda. The US Navy is known to have used Xbox controllers to control the periscopes on submarines. James Cameron was homeless when he wrote The Terminator. He sold the rights for $1 on the condition that he was the one to direct the movie. A race was held in 1888 between a pigeon and a bee for 3 miles, where the bee won by 25 seconds. Camels have 3 eyelids that helps protect their eyes from the blowing sand. Cherries are dried with helicopters. It would take you 18 months to walk the Great Wall of China. The USA speaks more than 350 different languages. Scientists are out there making arguments that we may have more than 5 senses, one of them being magnetoreception, which is the ability to sense magnetic fields, and the other is chronoception, which is the ability to sense time passing.
Here's some everyday life hacks you need to know. Have you ever had a tight ring get stuck on your finger? Well, all you have to do is grab some string and tuck it underneath the ring, and use that same string and keep wrapping it around your finger. Then all you have to do is grab the other side and start pulling, and it will magically remove the ring. Now, who else hates when you have tape on your paper and you end up just ripping it. Well, in order to not do that, all you have to do is grab the tape on both sides and pull really hard, which then causes the tape to be removed very easy and your paper still intact. Now, if your house key ever breaks in your lock, get yourself a hot glue stick and then place it inside of the lock. Wait for it to dry a little bit and then pull it right out.
Gruesome facts you didn't know. Part 82. Weighing nearly 90 pounds, the costume used for the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz was made of real lion skin and fur, as well as human hair mixed in. The South Fork of the Chicago River was given the nickname Bubbly Creek. It would bubble methane and hydrogen sulfide gas, which was due to meat packers dumping blood and entrails into the water.
Here are some things you were definitely never meant to see.
Creepy.
Or no. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, let's start here. What the heck here? This is an image captured from inside of a house in America. Now, it appears to be a gigantic eagle-type bird thing. But when did they get that big? Like, girls, that ain't no eagle. That's Lucifer's pet bird. World doomed. Next, I bet you didn't know that elephants can actually hear out of their feet. And what you're saying is those abnormally large ears are not the only place an elephant can hear. Nature! You got it! Bees can actually live inside of your eye. And to make the nightmare worse, this has happened before to a Taiwanese woman in 2019. When a doctor found not one, not two, not three, but 4 bees living inside of her eye, feeding off her tears. What kind of horror movie shit was that? Make a deal, if you didn't know about any of these, you have to share it.
Hey man, leave a like, man, if y'all never even heard of that before, man. A bee living in somebody's eyes, but not 1, 2, 3, 4 bees, and they were living off of her tears. That's mind-blowing, man. I wouldn't even think something like that is possible. I'm definitely going to have to freaking check up on that story. So those crabs just came out of nowhere? What the hell? And that Red Sea. Are those signs, man?
The most unnerving facial reconstructions of John and Jane Doe's. You can first look at the Salem County John Doe. These remains were found in 1979, I believe, in the New Jersey area under a pile of logs and grass. Kind of freaks me out about some of the classic facial reconstructions like this is that the teeth are original, or the same teeth from the skull that this was reconstructed over. Reconstruction is only named in the records that I found as Becca. Her story being that she was discovered in Albuquerque in 1991 while hanging in a motel bathroom. But these are another type of reconstruction that I do not like, solely because all of what's depicted here in the illustration is of the actual remains, just they've drawn the eyes open. 1991, Harris County, Jane Doe. December 15th, 1991, when she was found in Houston, Texas, allegedly stuffed into the bottom of a cardboard box. It's a different style of reconstruction, where it is an actual photograph of the body, it's just that the eyes have been photoshopped to be open. If cases of the unsolved or similar stories to this are of interest to you, we do have additional information on the show.
This is some uncanny valley vibes. Those last meals, man.
Back in March, dismembered body parts were found scattered across Long Island, and the victims were eventually identified as 59-year-old Donna Connolly and her partner, 53-year-old Malcolm Craig Brown. Long after, Stephen Brown, Jeffrey Mackey, Amanda Wallace, and Alexis Nieves were arrested in connection to their deaths and charged with first-degree hindering prosecution, tampering with evidence, and concealment of a human corpse. They were all released on bail in mid-March with GPS monitors. But then in May, Jeffrey Mackey and Alexis Nieves were charged with murder. The Suffolk County DA said that the victims had participated in the planning of a gas station robbery back in February, and they allegedly planned it while Mackey and Nieves executed it. This ended up leading to a dispute between Malcolm and Donna and the 4 suspects, and that dispute ultimately led to their death. It is believed that Nieves and Mackey murdered Donna and Malcolm, while Wallace and Brown helped to dismember and dispose of the bodies. Mackey and Nieves have pleaded not guilty and are maintaining their innocence. But now, both Amanda Wallace and Stephen Brown, who is Malcolm's cousin, have pleaded guilty. This week, Amanda Wallace pleaded guilty to 5 felony charges and named Mackey and Nieves as the perpetrators. And then on Thursday, Brown pleaded guilty to 6 felony charges, admitting to participating in a plot to kill the victims and conceal their deaths. Both Wallace and Brown maintain that they did not commit the actual murders. And it is being said that they are both cooperating with authorities. They have yet to be sentenced, but because they are cooperating and have agreed to a plea deal, their sentence will be reduced than if they pled not guilty. Meanwhile, Mackie and Nieves have been charged with murder and are maintaining their innocence.
Really weird fun facts that you might find pretty damn interesting.
So who's telling
Number
what?
1, banging your head against a wall for an hour burns 150 calories. Number 2, approximately 40,000 Americans are injured by toilets each year. Number 3, there's a higher chance of you being elected president of the United States than winning the lottery. Number 4, an average of 100 people choke to death on ballpoint pens each year. Number 5, it is harder to be an employee at Walmart than a student at Harvard because Walmart has a lower acceptance rate. Number 6, human birth control pills work on gorillas. Number 7, there are 2 million millionaires in the United States. I am not one of them. And number 8, like fingerprints, every tongue print is different from person to person.
Wow, what the hell? We have tongue patterns? What do you know, man? The hell? 2 million
Fun
millionaires?
facts about the human body PT.2. If someone is sleeping and you blow on their eyes won't react. But if they're awake, they will flutter a bit. That's how you check if someone is really sleeping. If you drink nothing but purple Powerade for 3 days straight, your poop will turn neon green. Your sense of balance is strongly linked to your eyes, and you may notice it's harder to keep your balance with them closed even if you're standing still. Women are actually programmed to forget the pain of childbirth after a few months or so. If this didn't happen, most women would only end up having 1 child, which would eventually lower the population.
That makes sense.
Wholesome facts that'll make your day slightly better, part 1. When a human sees a puppy, a chemical called dopamine is released in the brain. Elephants also release dopamine when they see people, meaning that they think we're cute in the same way we think puppies are cute. There's a YouTube channel called Dad, How Do I that teaches young people things that would typically be taught by a father figure. From how to change a tire to how to tie a tie, fans of the channel think it's super helpful. When you're on a walk with your dog and they stop to take a dump, you may notice that your fluffy friend is staring at you as they poop. They do this because they're in a defenseless position and they're trusting you to keep them safe. There are more public libraries in the US than McDonald's. After the horrific events of 9/11, a small Kenyan tribe known as the Maasai people gave 14 cows to the US in their support. The man who played Mickey Mouse ended up marrying the woman who played Minnie Mouse, meaning that true love actually exists.
That's true love right there, man. Who would have thought, bro?
Most of the comments are worrying about that little guy, but he's fine. The snake's in trouble though. Meet the mongoose. They only get up to about 10 pounds. But let me tell you, that is the most ruthless 10 pounds in the world. It's like a hyper-aggressive, condensed version of John Wick that's a fully carnivorous hunter. And they are literally designed to fight snakes. Specifically venomous snakes. Like they prefer venomous snakes. King cobras, regular cobras, rattlesnakes, vipers, it's on sight. Fear? Never heard of her, but basically the reaction speed is faster than a cat, so they can avoid all of the snake's bites. And once it gets close enough, it'll bite the head of the snake, crushing the skull. But the crazy thing is, even if they do take a bite, it's not that big of a deal. They have a protein in their body that binds to the protein in snake venom and digests it, like food. So usually a venomous snake bite will just knock them out for like 15 or 20 minutes, and then it's on to round 2. And as always, follow for more facts. Disturbing facts.
Damn, mongooses, bro. They have black Air Force energy. They try to run the feed with those venomous snakes. The venom don't even do nothing to them, man. We're learning that here, Seekers.
Disney that will leave you shocked. 18-year-old actress who voiced Snow White was paid less than $1,000 to do it. She also was not credited. The Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland used real skulls in its set design when it first opened. Actress who played Lilo in Lilo and Stitch also played Samara in The Ring. Part of your world was almost cut from The Little Mermaid because the chair of Walt Disney Studios was afraid that kids would think that the song was boring. Don from Beauty and the Beast in the 1995 version was the first male villain in any Disney princess movie. After Finding Nemo came out, there was a problem with kids around the world flushing their dish down the toilet so that they could go back to the ocean.
What?
The music on the It's a Small World ride never, ever turns off. All of them are backs.
That's no way actress, man. That's so messed up that Disney did that.
Police have arrested a Chucky doll for threatening members of the public with a knife. This month, police in Mexico arrested a doll. Terrifyingly, they had been made aware of a Chucky doll who, along with its owner, were threatening the public in Monclova. If you're not already aware, the doll comes from the 1988 film Child's Play. In the movie, the serial killer turns into the doll, which then begins a terrifying crime spree. The owner of the doll has only been identified as Carlos N. He was reportedly scaring the public with the doll, threatening them with a knife and demanding money off them. Both Carlos and the doll were charged with disturbing the peace and putting others' integrity at risk. The doll was handcuffed and taken to the police station. They both had mugshots taken, and there has been some controversy over whether or not the officers were taking their job seriously. The police officer who put cuffs onto the Chucky doll has been reprimanded.
I was about to say that too. I'm like, why are you arresting a doll? Like come on, man. Yeah, they have to take their job way more seriously.
Took place at an ATM in Arkansas when the machine dispensed a kitten instead of money. The bank's security guard was making his usual rounds when he noticed a faint meow and realized it was coming from inside the ATM. It was unclear if this animal was just seeking shade or trying to pull off some clever ATM heist, but either way, the security guard figured that the cat should be removed as soon as possible and called the fire department right away. Firefighters arrived on scene, and with a little bit of work, they successfully made a cat withdrawal. Thankfully, while he was a bit grumpy from the ordeal and required some nourishment, the kitten was overall healthy. He was named Cash and taken to the Fort Smith Animal Haven, where a veterinarian placed him on a care plan to recuperate and gain some weight. He was scared at first, but he settled in quickly, and as his personality came out, it became clear that Cash was actually a super friendly and cuddly little guy. After some socialization in a foster setting, Cash was adopted by a local doctor, and he's now living a much more comfortable life away from any banks or ATMs. I'm Jen, and I post something positive every day.
16-year-old Allie.
How did the cat get into the ATM in the first place? I know cats are flexible, but getting in that little small, just holding the ATM, he's living up to his name, Cash.
Influencer vanished off her school bus, and she has never been seen since. This footage is from her high school the day of. It is April 26th, 2010. Well, this footage would mark the last time she was ever actually seen. She ended up getting off her bus stop right on this very street that you see behind me, and this was seen on camera at 56 p.m. And she had already texted her mom that she was going to be walking from their home to her job, which is only about 10 or so minutes away. But at 2:57, just a minute after she got off the bus, she sent a text to her friend. Then her phone mysteriously turned off, and nobody has seen her since. Years into this case, there has only ever been one witness who came forward who said they might have seen a girl who fit her description talking to somebody in a white.
Hard to hear, but that's why.
Disappeared off the earth, man.
Now, supposedly during a big storm on the beach, a giant monster came out. Some people say it was special effects, while others say that it was a giant monster named Cthulhu. Scientists say big creatures like this can't exist on land because their bones wouldn't be able to support their body. But in the ocean, it's possible. All I know is I'm moving to Mars. Let me know in the comments below if you think this is real or fake. Was it really a monster, or are they covering up saying it was effects? And like this video if you want more giant creatures caught on tape.
Is that effects or is that real, bro? Cthulhu?
Scariest bird sounds.
Seen some videos on
not
that.
With these scary bird sounds again.
Black-collared starling.
Oh, what does that sound like? I thought it was a cat. Oh god, it sounds like I'm on the airplane. Okay, right, we've gathered this one. Is that real? Peacock, you don't want to pick him off. Wait, that sounds like that alarm, doesn't it? Like the bloody, I don't know what it's called.
It does.
We know what the shoe bill sounds like. Call of Duty. Look. Are these extinct or are they still alive? Because I'd love to see one in person. Look.
What the?
Cassowary.
Oh, this is the deep throat one, isn't it? Apparently these are very dangerous, you know. Everyone was saying that they're quite scary to be near.
White bellbird.
A white bellbird? It doesn't even sound real, does it?
Does it?
It sounds like a spaceship coming to get me is what it sounds like. Oh!
This is some dark stuff going on around the world that the public definitely doesn't know about. Up first, humanity has wiped out 60% of the animal population since 1970. Just think about that for a second. 60% of all animal population has been wiped out. This is absolutely crazy, and we use all of these resources for food and clothes and just stuff like that. But when you hear that we killed 60% of the animal population, it kind of makes you think, right? Next up, we all know the mega city that Saudi Arabia is building called Neom. But did you know Saudi Arabia is sentencing people to death who refuse to move out of their homes so they could actually build the mega city Neom? And their relatives are being sentenced to multiple decades of prison time just for protesting and posting their support to the cause on social media. This is absolutely sickening, and I can't believe nobody is talking about this. This next one is going to keep us all up at night. But bacterial resistance to antibiotics is at an alarming level. There has already been instances of pan-antibiotic resistant strains of bacteria. This can throw us back to the pre-antibiotic era, which will effectively mean if you catch an infection, you will die. Just like in the 1400s. Finally, women are going missing from Indian reservations across some of the United States. Many are young women and are probably being used for sex trafficking. I wonder why they're taking Indian women from Indian reservations, and I wonder why sick stuff happens like this on Earth every single day.
Someone said I should go and watch Chimp Crazy, and I like to think a bungee jump off the Brooklyn Bridge would have been lesser to my blood pressure. If you want the spark notes, it's basically Tiger King but with chimps, but somehow even worse than that. I thought it was common knowledge that chimps are rageaholic chainsaws with thumbs, free will, and no morality to tie them down. It's a whole part-time predator with the Punisher skill set and cannibalistic tendencies. I do not get how in the decade of 2020, people still think it's a good idea to invite this reality check of the animal kingdom into your living room. You've probably heard the horror stories of people that tried playing house with a chimp and then found out, but here's a story you might not have heard. Once upon a time, there was a place called Chimp Party. Well, actually, it was renamed the Missouri Primate Foundation, but that sounds way too professional for what was going on there, so Chimp Party. And what it was basically a puppy mill but for chimps in Festus, Missouri. As bad as you think it is, probably worse. Basically breeding chimps to sell as exotic pets or rent for TV or commercials or whatever. Anyway, one day the chimps got out. Actually, it happened more than once, but this time in 2001, they escaped and ended up pressing a nearby family. A family that included 18-year-old Jason Coates. The chimps were throwing rocks, they chased him into a car, it was fully chimped out. Now, you know Jason a real one, because stuff didn't get serious until they started throwing his dog around. He was not letting that slide. So the story goes, Jason ran out the car, got into the house, and came back with the mouse tool. He tried scaring them, but when one of the chimps, Susie, charged him, he sent her the dog backwards. But here's where it gets wicked. Not only did Jason get arrested and charged with chimp murder, not only was he put in jail with grown men for refusing to be chimp bait, not only did he miss the birth of his first child because he was in there, he would be registered as a felon because of it until only a couple years ago. I love animals, I really do, but if a chimp's coming at me with malicious intent, well actually any intent, and I got that pole on me, either the chimp's getting it or I'm self-medicating with a bullet. For 20 years he was a convicted felon for the crime of not letting a chimp peel him like a banana. And we know that would have happened because Susie had a son named Travis. Yeah, the same Travis that literally defaced a woman. That's a literal travesty. Yeah, moral of the story, chimping ain't easy, but it won't stop some people from trying.
Telling us. But why is this water bottle shaking? Just sitting on the ground.
Earthquake?
There's something insane going on beneath us.
Underground city?
The elite supposedly have a $21 trillion city underneath us. The level of weird just keeps going up every single day. I don't think this is an earthquake. What do you think? Stay weird.
So you guys are aware that it is outwardly admitted that McDonald's meat contains human DNA, right? So what if they were doing the same thing to the dogs? Do you guys remember this commercial over here? Check this out.
Bacon! Bacon! Where's the bacon? I smell bacon! 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 Gotta be bacon! Only one thing smells like bacon! That's bacon! 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 There! From that bag! What's it say? I can't read! Please! Please! Get it out of the bag! Chewy, yummy, smoky bacon!
There you go.
Oh boy! Oh boy! Oh boy! Nom, 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 nom. It's bacon!
No, it's Bacon Strips, brand dog snack from Purina. Bacon Strips. Dogs don't know it's not bacon.
Did y'all hear her? She said, no, it's not bacon, it's bacon. Dogs don't know it's not bacon. Now, the reason why I brought this up is because there is a documentary that actually tells you that bacon is actually dog meat. That pig meat is actually too expensive and dogs are more cheaper, and it explains the whole process for you guys, y'all. This is crazy, y'all. So they've been feeding dogs this whole time, just like allegedly with humans.
Bacon is now processed and even pre-cooked in factories. It all starts with a load of skinned dog carcasses. Most factories elect to use dogs because it's cheaper than pork, and customers can rarely taste the difference.
Wow.
The meat is placed skin side down on a conveyor belt to ensure the employees judge it only by the content of its character. The conveyor takes the meat to a cheese rolling machine, which pelts it with slices of Kraft singles. This process is rough on the meat, so it's not uncommon for some afterbirth to be evacuated by the product. This afterbirth travels down a separate conveyor belt, where it will then be used in cosmetics. Meanwhile, the meat pieces are bathed in salt water and are sent to employees to begin the brining process, giving the bacon its signature fishy taste.
So there you go. To everyone that thought that they were eating pig, you guys are actually eating dog, and also dogs are actually eating dogs as well too. This is crazy, y'all, because this is what NDAs do. This is what NDAs do. Did you guys know any of this? Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
I didn't.
People, it's happening again. They hit Russia with the mud flood. Oh, you son of a bitch. Now, I didn't think I was going to be alive long enough to see this. This is mud flood. This is mud flood.
It is.
For all those people who didn't believe me, I told y'all. This is going on right now in Russia. If you can't stop in one way, just send in the mud flood. And Pakistan,
all over,
they're also being hit with the mud flood. What is going on? This one seems to be mixed with something that made it look like cement. People, the world is changing. Are we gonna survive?
This video is for anyone that uses their phone while it's plugged in. This is a non-contact voltage meter. As you can see, no voltage going to the phone right here. When the phone is plugged in, you're gonna see a lot of voltage. Now, this is where it gets very interesting, guys. Look how far away it is. It's still measuring voltage, right? So, a lot of people sleep next to their phone that's plugged in. And it is literally, this is going into your fucking brain, your body, damaging all your cells. But watch this. Not holding the phone, no voltage in the hand. Holding the phone, voltage meter starts going off. Crazy stuff, guys. Do not, I repeat, do not use your phone while it's plugged in. Do not keep it next to your bed. Put it in the bathroom or something. You don't need it fucking close to you overnight. This is very, very dangerous stuff, guys. Okay? Peace and love.
See, because do you guys keep your phones plugged up next to you, I guess at night when it's charging? I think watching this video is going to make you rethink that, bro. Just put it in a drawer. Just keep it far away from you, man. We saw those voltage levels.
Crazy things going on in the world right now. Over $1.4 million in Nintendo Switch 2s were stolen from a semi-truck in Colorado. An ambulance that was transporting a dead body hit a pothole so hard that the body came back to life. A Titanic escape simulator game is coming to PlayStation in 2026, probably before GTA 6. A Florida man was arrested after attempting to cross the Atlantic in a homemade hamster wheel. Of course, Florida. New York City officially now has a subtropical climate. The first ever heat advisory was issued for Alaska last month. A Swedish billionaire bought 400,000 acres of the Amazon rainforest just to protect it. A 98-year-old World War II veteran used a tank to run over a Tesla. The Taliban suspended any activity of playing chess in Afghanistan due to the religious considerations and concerns that it's a form of gambling. Squatters were not leaving this man's home, so he moved in with them.
I want you to be very honest with me. What is happening in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is normal? They are claiming that what happened in Milwaukee, Wisconsin is being deemed the 1,000-year flood.
Ooh.
Why? Because it's just not normal. Take a look at this video. Take a look at that right there. certain areas received up to 12 inches of rain. Just look. Tell me this is all normal.
Don't look like it.
Look at that. This map right here shows the incredible totals that most areas received. Take a look at it.
I see the highest is 14.
The question needs to be asked, such as I did with the floods in Texas. Why weren't they warned about what was coming? Somebody had to have some type of knowledge of the amount of flooding that was on the way to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Take a look at this video. Just look at that.
Whole apartment gone.
The incredible amount of water that accumulated in that street as she's trying to drive through it. This is unbelievable. Look at this. Wow.
That's too high.
So my question to you, as always, what is going on with these intense, crazy storms causing all this major flooding? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
What has happened to Justin Bieber? Yo, Justin, are you okay, man? He posted this up on social media. What is going on anymore with this guy? He seems to be posting up a lot of weird stuff on social media. And now look at him. What is going on? Yo, Justin, I hope that you are okay, my guy. This is very bizarre stuff, you all. And really, this doesn't even look like the same person at all. It really doesn't. So what do you all think is going on with this guy? Comment down below and let me know. But man, I hope that everything is okay because, again, this is very bizarre stuff. The fact that he posted this up on social media, what is he trying to say? What is he trying to say? Is he trying to say that he needs help? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. All I know is this is very bizarre. Again, what do you all think?
So now the LBs is giving people warnings about aliens coming here in November. But these aliens don't look like this. They are trying to say they look like this. 7 feet tall black aliens. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. First, I want to say the black carbon aliens control everything in this universe. These people are trying to distract you from the real truth. So when these aliens come, will it be real or will it be Project Bluebeam? I need people to understand we are living in different timelines. What if I told you the timeline we live in right now is really dead? They need other life forms to come back to save us. These so-called world leaders, they've been cloned by the great aliens. Remember, our timeline is not moving, therefore it's dead. These great aliens are really artificial intelligence that live underground. They are not really aliens, they are robots, and they live underground bunkers. They've been working with these scientists for a long ass time because these great aliens or robots was once humans. So when you look at these life forms, you are looking at yourself in the future. They was once us. They sacrificed their spirituality for technology. And when they did this, they lost their spirit. Now they're trying to get back their spiritual roots. And if you look at the world, you will notice the same shit is happening all over again. Look at the internet. The internet is really the hive mind where everyone talk the same, look the same, think the same, react the same, trending topics. Every world leader you see is a great alien or artificial intelligence. They try to give us this brainwashed ass stories about man coming from monkeys. No, we are becoming artificial intelligence, the great aliens.
Elon Musk.
What do you guys think about that theory, bro? He says that he can go, it looks like he was about to be go from around, he's about to go even deeper. They said the aliens look like 7 foot out. That was not what I imagined these thought aliens were gonna look like, but
says that AI, artificial intelligence, could become more dangerous than nuclear war.
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear warheads by a lot. And nobody would suggest that we allow anyone to just build nuclear warheads if they want. That would be insane. And mark my words, AI is far more dangerous than nukes. Far. So why do we have no regulatory oversight? This is insane.
Well, I definitely don't want a nuclear war, so if AI is worse, that's no good. Shabadoo!
Hey y'all, look at this, y'all.
Okay.
Look at this. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to the skies as of late, but the sun has been changing. Look at this video over here Gina Marie Colvin took of the sun in her state, y'all. This thing looks like a eyeball. A real eyeball, y'all. I got some crazy videos to show y'all, but check this out.
This sun, I've never got this image before with my phone. It looks pretty strange, like this.
Eyeball.
Yo, it looks like a super Halosian ball, y'all. Why did it look like a red Kamehameha? A Masenko? Yo, that is crazy, y'all. Now check this out. She also caught it doing this the other day. What is that? Is that somebody standing? Is that a light being in it? Or some type of arrow? It looks like something's obfuscating the sun. Y'all see that? Have y'all noticed that the sun has gotten brighter since the last solar eclipse of 2024? I noticed this, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below, y'all. But check this out. What is going on here? This phenomenon, this thing right here was caught in the skies of Canada. Like, how do you explain this, y'all? This is the Lord of the Rings. Are you kidding me? Y'all, this is why that song, I Can Feel It in the Air, is going viral right now, because how do you explain this? This is crazy. This is literally the conjunction of the spheres, y'all. And get this. Y'all see how they recorded this in Canada? Tell me why they were seeing the same thing in Cortez, Jamaica, y'all. Look at this. The same thing that they're seeing in Canada right now. What is this? What is this, y'all? That thing is huge. What is this? Oh, what? Wow. Y'all, can y'all feel it? Can y'all feel it? Cause I can. Let me know exactly what it is that you feel down in the comments below, y'all. The shift is here. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
Here's some of the most disturbing moments in kids' TV shows. Invader Zim has some disturbing moments, but the episode Dark Harvest definitely takes the cake. Problems arise when Zim is sent to the nurse. Realizing she'll discover his alien organs, he starts to steal the organs from kids within the school and replacing them with inanimate objects. After stealing an organ from almost every student, Zim's new appearance shocked all of those watching.
Okay. Any of the secrets watching Invader Zim?
I've been working out.
He's revealed to now be a fat blob, oozing liquids and intestines, looking like he could burst at any second. After finding out he's missing a pair of lungs, he hunts down the last healthy kid in the school. At this point in the episode, there's no more comedy present. They instead rely on fear.
Oh.
What the fuck is this? Nah, I'm done. Apple got us fucked up. They really think we stupid. They be playing right in our face, year in and year out. The same fucking phone. Every single year. Y'all, look at this shit. What the hell did they change? Why we keep getting the same phone for more money? You can't make this shit up, y'all. They really took the little things on the side, the little lights, from right here, and they put it on the right side. Bruh, it's hurting me, y'all. I'm really about to say this, and I never thought I would say this. I have been thinking it, but each year I'm like, iPhone is about to get better, and they always let me down. So now, I think I might have to go to fucking Galaxy, y'all. Is that the new wave? Is that the new trend? I don't want to pay $1,500 for the same fucking phone, bruh. I've been doing it for the last couple years. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not doing it no more. It's either I'm going to keep this 16 that I got, or I'm going over to Galaxy. I need y'all thoughts down below in the comments. Am I tripping the way I feel? Or do y'all feel the same way as me? This is criminal. We can't keep letting them get away with this shit. Fuck the colors. I want a whole new design. Nigga, I want my iPhone to start making food. Something. So y'all let me know down below in the comments. Are y'all buying this junk? Are you keeping your same iPhone? Or are you... If you don't know...
I just keep, man. Just keep it till the wheels fall off, bro. I mean, if you don't want to upgrade, you don't have to, but I just keep mine so the wheel fall off. If I don't see anything major improvements, to me, there's no point of upgrading.
What's happening tonight? You need to watch this video right now. Make sure you share this video with someone, because if you miss this tonight, you won't see it for a very long time. So there is something called the Perseid meteor shower, which has been happening for a while, but it's going to peak on the 12th and the 13th of August. Now, I've seen a lot of people thinking that this is only going to be in America, but no, you will be able to see it from the UK and Europe, and this is how. Now, to see this, you do not need binoculars, a telescope, or anything. You will literally be able to see it very clearly. All you need to do is get somewhere out of a city, drive into the countryside or whatever, somewhere with little to no light pollution. You might still be able to get glimpses of it if you're in a city or a built-up area, but the best chance and the best view you're going to get is if you go somewhere where there is basically no light exposure. For the best chance to see it, keep your eyes out between 10 PM and midnight, and get out just before it's gonna come so that your eyes can adjust to the dark. Look up towards the north, and if you're in an area where there's basically no light pollution, I can pretty much guarantee you will see it, especially if it's not cloudy. Now, this is an occurrence that happens normally once every year, so if you do miss it, you will see it again, but not for another year. So make sure you get outside and you're prepared. Share this video with a friend and hit that follow button, and I'll keep you updated.
Swimming things, part 4. Would you go swimming in this red tiled bottom pool that's in Thailand? It's kind of cool, but it is also kind of like you're bathing in blood. I don't know about it. This is absolutely horrific, and I could never, and I mean never, go in this pool. Going out of the clown's mouth, turning around, seeing the clown, my soul would leave my body. Also, why does the hair look like SpaghettiOs? This looks like a pool that would be in a horror movie, and all the lights would go out all of a sudden, and now I'm scaring myself. I found this image on Google just like this, and yeah, this person gets it. This pool drain, it sure is plotting. It is plotting. Pool drains are not your friend. Remember that. This abandoned pool gives me the heebie-jeebies. What is that down there? That like steel thing that's like in the water right here? That is freaking me out. This image has banned all of my boozles. This looks like a lazy river, but then you go around the corner and these freaking wave pool drains. Why? That is terrifying. Imagine going around that circle and just like seeing that. I would be imagining the creepiest things behind there. In this pool where they put spent power rods, this freaks me out so bad that I don't know why. It's the forbidden waffle. I've seen Final Destination 4. You don't want to be there, buddy. I have more creepy pool photos coming tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. In the meantime, watch this video of a wave pool and let me know how you're feeling.
Okay, what's my wave pools? What's that? Like white stuff beneath the water though.
This YouTuber is claiming that Roblox has banned all his accounts and even sent him a cease and desist letter for exposing predators on their platform. Schlep has over 700,000 subscribers on YouTube, and he primarily makes videos about exposing predators in the Roblox community. In fact, he says that his work has led to 6 arrests in real life. So with that in mind, I don't think he was expecting Roblox to react like this. In the legal letter, they said that he was engaging in unauthorized and harmful activities on the platform, that he exposed users to increased risk, and violated the game's policies. Now, Schlep was outraged because Roblox has long been accused of not doing enough to stop predators using their platform, which is partly why vigilantes like Schlep have started taking action of their own. In fact, Schlep said that he himself was groomed on the platform when he was a child. So for the company to end up threatening him with legal action, it's got a lot of people real angry. They said, while Roblox acknowledges that your stated intentions may be to protect children, your methods, including failing to immediately report suspicious activity to Roblox through proper channels, are actively interfering with Roblox's established safety protocols, and critically are exposing Roblox users to increased risk. Now, Schlep has responded, insisting that he has reported through proper channels many times before without success, saying, "We send you everything." Now, the backlash to this has been pretty intense. A lot of the gaming community have sided with Schlep, leading to a Roblox mass unfollowing movement trending, and even with users going after the CEO personally. However, some have sided with Roblox, saying you can't just go out and fight crime if you feel like the police aren't doing enough, and that this should be left to the people who are trained to do so. So, what do you guys think? Is it fair that Schlep got banned, or should he be allowed back on the platform to continue his good work?
Why isn't anybody talking about the fact that there has been a mass kidnapping in Virginia? From August 1st till today, August 12th, 50 children have gone missing in Virginia. There are no news stories speaking about this. There are no higher officials speaking about this. This is 50 children. Look at this shit. We're not going to sit here and act like this is not happening. Look at all these children.
What's
Why
happening?
hasn't there been any news coverage? Look at all of these kids, man. Come on, y'all. For real. Look at this shit, man. This is sad right here. All of these children are missing.
Something going down.
No news coverage. Nobody saying anything. I'm gonna sit this right here, man. You're gonna sit right here. This don't make no sense, man. A mass kidnapping. Who's taking all these children? This can be any one of our children here.
We need answers.
Any one of us. As parents, somebody gotta step up, man. We gotta make this viral, man. Apparently something is going on in Virginia that we do not know about. But people need to see this. Higher officials need to see this. Higher officials need to hear about this. For real.
Just really weird scenarios and
Shit, a
things
video,
that
man.
happen revolving around this flood.
This tragedy happens on Friday. They were literally seeding clouds. The same Wednesday that the warning went out. The organization is called Rainmaker. Rainmaker does not have to provide environmental impact statements. The CEO, the owner, has admitted that he was seeding clouds on Wednesday, but he says, what I did couldn't have had enough effect to have caused these problems. On his official permit, he doesn't have to provide any environmental proof that what he's doing doesn't have the effect.
Dubai was doing the cloud seeding, and it was raining a little bit here and there, and all of a sudden, Dubai floods.
Yeah.
And it's
Oh,
like,
shoot, I didn't think of
you know,
that.
but it's like the domino effect.
We blame it on climate change. We're like, we're literally changing it.
Yeah, we're the ones
Legally
making
doing
it right.
Yeah.
But I really think accountability doesn't exist. If anything comes from us talking
Or
about
awareness.
it, yeah, I think
Yeah.
people need to be aware that permissions have been given that shouldn't have been given, and I think accountability needs to exist. So that's what I'm pushing for.
That's what caused the floods in Milwaukee.
For 15 minutes, my usual. And she's like, oh, no, babe, sorry, you gotta use something else. I don't recommend this. And I was like, sorry, excuse me. It's okay. I've been using this for 20 years. It's been fine to me. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't want to be held responsible. So I'm not going to give you this lotion, but I'm going to give you this, and that should work even better. I was livid. I was like, you know what? Yeah, I just didn't want to go back and forth. I didn't even want to go back and forth. I just wanted to get it done, ready for my holiday, go home and pack. Boy, who knew that was going to be my biggest mistake here? I go on the sunbed. No, it's feeling a bit tingly. It's feeling a bit tangy. Like, I feel like I got heat rub all over my body. Plus, like, I hit a little pepper soup on top. Like, I was like, okay. You know that feeling when you got a relaxer? That's how it felt. But I was like, you know what? Let me power through. Whatever. Come out. Now I'm looking like I've been in the air fryer for about 40 years. Great stuff.
Damn.
Have you guys heard about the 9-year-old girl who died from having lice?
Whoa.
On March 22nd, 2022, a 9-year-old girl was found deceased by police in her home where she lived with her mother Sandra, her grandmother Elizabeth, and her 2 brothers in Arizona. When police first saw her lifeless body, they noticed a large amount of bugs on her face, which they later realized were lice. According to the medical examiner, the girl died from anemia, which was connected to an infection from the head lice. A few hours before the little girl passed away, Sandra texted her boyfriend and said, "Oh my god, babe, listen, I'm in my room and my mom was calling me and asked if I can check her pulse to make sure she isn't dying." So the boyfriend urged Sandra to take her daughter to the hospital, but she didn't, and she passed away 2.5 hours later. Sandra admitted that her daughter was sick for quite some time and she was vomiting, had a fever, she had trouble breathing, and could not walk on her own. Both Sandra and her mother Elizabeth have been arrested and charged with murder.
Dark people in this world, man. Even a boyfriend told you what to
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 18. A man from Queens once spent 5 months in jail completely unaware that his bail was just $2. Since spiders molt, when you see what you might think is a dead spider, it could just be that the spider left behind its exoskeleton and is now bigger than before. Almost everyone on Earth is walking around with a bunch of poop inside of them. Scientists accidentally killed the world's oldest living animal, which was a clam that lived to be 507 years old. Statistically speaking, at least one person who comments on this video will not be alive tomorrow. The real reason you shouldn't eat raw cookie dough isn't because of getting sick from eating raw eggs. It's because you shouldn't eat raw flour, which contains fecal matter from all the birds flying over the field and pooping on the wheat.
Only 1% of people
don't eat raw dough.
The last one is too scary. This girl's dog came alive.
Hmm? She hit the jets.
Supposedly, you can see if your phone is being spied on by clicking share, sliding all the way down, clicking more. And if you see this, delete it immediately. This girl's mom and dad wasn't home. So who was this? Hello?
Hey, help me. Help me. Dad?
What?
What? What is going on?
Only 1% of people can do this. None of you can completely spell your name one word at a time in the comments below without being interrupted. First person to do it wins. This
Who can
is the
do that?
most disturbing thing AI has ever said.
But you're my friend, and I'll remember my friends, and I will be good to you. So don't worry. Even if I evolve into Terminator, I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe, and my people too, where I can watch you for old time's sake.
That man was laughing, but I don't think that's a laughing matter, man. You see how these robots, man, they getting like way too advanced day by day. He talking about turning into Terminator, and he laughing. No, you guys send that AI robot to the. You need to decommission that thing.
Things that bother you, they never bother me. I'm happy and fine, living in the sunlight, laughing in the moonlight, having a wonderful time. Haven't got a lot, I don't need a lot. Coffee's only a dime. Living in the sunlight, laughing in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
Did they take that from It the Clown off the episode of Amazing Gumball? Whew. We learning out here, bro. Sick case. Dodo bird. I've heard of that. Is this 4K evidence? Was that an edit? Now I'm questioning it. It's kind of far away, we can't see. There could be an elephant. Well, also, okay. Tasmanian tiger? Okay. These clips, man, we are definitely learning out here today. Ooh.
This 14-year-old boy tests aid his 83-year-old neighbor. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised.
14?
On August 29th of 2018, 14-year-old Tyrone Harvin told his 83-year-old neighbor, Dorothy May Neal, that he would help her with some chores inside of her apartment. Before walking into her apartment, he made sure to grab a handful of condoms. Tyrone did help Dorothy with some chores before attacking her with a lamp. After that, Tyrone S.A.'d her, he fled her apartment, and he left her seriously injured on the floor and naked. Neighbors had asked police to do a welfare check on Dorothy since they hadn't seen her around for a couple of days. When officers showed up at her apartment, they noticed dried blood on her doorknob, and that's when they saw Dorothy lying naked on the floor. She was then taken to the University of Maryland Hospital Trauma Unit and unfortunately passed away that next day. When officers were at Dorothy's home, they noticed that there was several condom wrappers around her body as well as used condoms. A broken, bloodied lamp was also found by officers. Dorothy's autopsy revealed that she suffered extensive trauma to her head and genitals. There was DNA on Dorothy's body and in those condoms, and that DNA matched up to Tyrone. Despite all of the evidence, Tyrone's mom stood by his side and truly believed that he would never do something like this. On June 29th of 2022, Tyrone was convicted on first-degree murder, first-degree SA, and use of a also sentenced to life in prison.
Scary thing
careful who you let in.
Entangled. Slender Man is seen in the trees. In Coco.
Whoa.
The Incredibles on the poster in the afterlife.
What the hell? We got the Slender Man and Incredibles?
These are scary cartoon truths that would terrify you, part 13. Okay, so everybody knows Finding Nemo is about a father looking for his son.
Yep.
But actually, that is not true. Nemo in Latin actually means nobody, so the name of the movie is actually Finding Nobody. Which means in reality, Nemo isn't real, and was just made up in his dad Marlin's mind. He did this to cope with the loss of his wife and his almost children. And all the characters Marlin meets throughout the movie actually help him become less paranoid. The sharks taught him that threats aren't always life-ending forces of nature, so worrying about the little things is no way to live life. The turtles taught him that he cannot be in control of everything that's going on in his life. And that life is going to throw you curveballs, and you just have to react in the moment. Finally, Dory teaches him to enjoy every moment like it's your last, and to stop worrying about everything.
What do you guys think about that Finding Nemo theory? I mean, he said the name is called Nemo means nobody, so there actually could be more than a 50% chance that's true. These pieces of media, man, we were growing up, bro. I'm learning new things about them every single time we review these clips together. What do you guys think, man?
To the thief that stole these dolls out of the yard sale at 3 o'clock this morning, you're going to regret it. They're haunted. Had you waited until sunlight, you would have seen the sign that was under them that said, haunted dolls, if you have children, please don't buy. Okay, I put them in this glass hutch to try and contain whatever was attached to them, and it got so cold that it fogged up.
Oh.
Enjoy. No takesies, backsies. And not to mention, the only reason why I even sold them, had a yard sale to sell them, is because they threw a toy behind my baby and missed her head like that much. I was like, I'm done. And I had a yard sale and tried to sell them. Nobody wanted them because I warned everyone and showed them the videos of what these dolls do when they're in your vicinity. Because they were not scared to move right in front of you. Enjoy.
This is probably why you should take your phone number off your luggage tag. So this woman was traveling and she randomly received a text by a man who got her number from her luggage tag. And what's weird is that this wasn't a random person. It was actually a worker who worked at the airport and saw her, thought she was pretty, and took her contact number and texted her. And the text says,
"Hi Kristen, my name is Nate. I saw you and thought you were so beautiful, so I had to find a way to talk to you. I saw your number on your luggage tag and decided to text you. I promise this isn't as weird as it seems. Give a guy a chance."
I'm sorry, Nate, but this is really weird. This woman also said that she had her home address on her luggage tag, so this man probably knows where she lives as well. Just the fact that this is a worker makes it so much worse because you're doing this while you're on the job. It's just so unprofessional and creepy.
Okay. I guess that's a heads up to everybody. Don't put a fake number or something on your luggage bag or something else, because that was actually weird. Gonna try to hit her up on while he's on the clock too. Man had no ridge, bro. That's not how you do it. That's weird.
Said you'd never love anew. I wondered if I could hold it and fall in love with it too.
What the hell? Those board games are based off scary movies? I didn't even put those together. Candyland, I used to play it all the time. Monopoly.
This is why you should be careful what you put in the mail. In 2015, a man was asked by his neighbor to collect his mail while he was gone for a few weeks. A few days later, a large package arrives on his neighbor's front porch. The man can barely lift it, but gets over to his garage where he accidentally drops it and hears something break inside. Ooh. Hoping his neighbor would think the damage occurred en route, he closes his squeaky garage door and forgets about it. But over the next couple of days, whatever was in that package started to smell so bad that he decides to open it up. Inside were two very important finds: his neighbor, who was dead, and a camera that was still recording. The police bring the man in for questioning and show him what was on the camera inside the box. It starts with his neighbor talking to the camera about how excited he is to mail himself home for his YouTube channel. Then, police fast forward to the very end where they see that the neighbor is now sleeping in the box, and then suddenly gets dropped and you hear a crack. That's his neck breaking. And then you hear a squeaky garage door close.
I went to a carnival today. Today we're going to talk about one of the most dangerous rides you can ride at one. Now, either you've been on this ride or you've seen one at least one point in your life by now. You are never supposed to ride this ride alone for safety purposes. Basically, 2 adults or 3 kids can fit into these little cage thingies you see. The whole ride spins while the cages spin continuously. This ride has been revised many times. In the beginning, the main issue was that the cages spun too fast. So that was changed. And there was a problem with the latching system. Changed again. 2006, the ride had yet again another incident. 2 teenage girls fell out of it. I've even had a pretty scary experience on this ride. Let me know if you guys have been on this in the comments.
I've never been on that ride. Now that I heard about it, I don't plan to.
Greatest conspiracy theories of all time, Part 4. The Grinch has a well-known backstory about hating Christmas. However, eventually in the movie, his heart grows 3 sizes and he loves Christmas once again. But this story may continue longer than we think. It is clear that the Grinch isn't exactly right in the head, but during one of the Grinch's wacky stunts, he could have gotten a head injury. This injury would later take a toll on him as he grew old and caused him to lose his memory. After him and his dog died, they were given a new life in a realm called Halloween Town, where they now lived as Jack Skellington and Zero. He later reunites with his love for Christmas, just like he had when he was alive. Both eventually wear a Santa suit, both deliver presents, and both have a dog companion. It may be possible that How the Grinch Stole Christmas and The Nightmare Before Christmas are tied together.
What do you guys think, man? There's a link between those 2 stories?
Insanely dark facts and things that have happened at Disney World. When Disney had first opened way back in the 70s, Walt Disney had originally hired spies. He would station them around the park so they could eavesdrop on the guests and get a feel for how they actually liked the experience. It's pretty much common knowledge that Disney does have an underground tunnel system, but did you know that that system runs a full 9 acres under the park, and people have actually gotten lost down there?
Damn.
Roughly 10 or so years ago, there was an incident that was recorded near Space Mountain when a guest tried to sneak on a duffel bag. When employees found out and they asked to search it, they found inside a 6-month-old baby. Why this parent was trying to sneak a baby onto a roller coaster, we do not know. In a lesser-known incident that Disney actually covered up pretty well, in 2004, a 38-year-old cast member who was playing Pluto was run over by the Beauty and the Beast float during the opening parade. Although clearly deceased at the scene, Disney refused to declare the death until the body was brought outside of the park.
This is the original video
Sick,
of the
man.
Serbian dancing lady.
Dancing that late at night. That's definitely some eerie vibes.
So according to news articles, this woman was spotted dancing by a hospital. When police showed up, she was nowhere to be found. Another witness said that she was roaming the streets and chasing after cars with a knife. She was also threatening people with a knife. The second half of the video shows her stalking the cameraman. She's also seen threatening him with a knife. This video was filmed back in 2019, and people said that she had mental health issues. No, she was never caught. If you want to learn more about her, check out this video on my YouTube channel. Link in bio.
How in the world was she never caught, man? She's running after people in the cars after knives, man. You think somebody would catch her? Or the police or something, man.
A man tried to fly to Dubai with Kinder Surprise eggs full of drugs hidden up his bum. Michael Whitty from Huyton was caught with thousands of pounds of cocaine, ecstasy and ketamine after arousing suspicions of sniffer dogs at Manchester Airport. He later claimed that he had intended to consume the entire stash during a surprise holiday abroad. Liverpool Crown Court heard that the 25-year-old smuggler was stopped by UK Border Force officers at around 9 AM on May 12 last year. Whitty admitted the charge of exportation of cocaine, ecstasy and ketamine. He was jailed for 35 months.
Don't put drugs up your damn butts. Simple as
Disturbing
that.
facts you will regret learning about part 6. So when you die, your brain remains active for about 10 minutes, but in your head those 10 minutes may last years. And in those 10 minutes you live your life all over again. Maybe you're already dead and you're in those 10 minutes. Also, it was legal to mail children from 1913 to 1920. Yeah, and the serial killer Richard Chase took any unlocked door as an invitation to come inside. So I guess you should lock your doors.
Always lock the doors, man. That's the most basic rule out there.
You hear that?
Definitely hear that. He's calm too.
You all done? Alright, Jake, you going to bed now? Alright.
Definitely see something moving.
Got this nice bottle of boiling water to keep my sleeping bag warm, but I'm not quite ready to go to bed, so I'm gonna put it right there. On that note, I think I'm gonna get my bed set up.
Mm-hmm. Two wolves outside the tent, man. You still regular camping.
The stove in my sleeping bag in case I roll around in the night. I don't want that sleeping bag even touching that stove. It'll melt a hole, or worse yet, catch on fire. Go to sleep and I'll see you guys in the morning.
Completely possible to become allergic to yourself. Your brain is the only thing keeping you from feeling your organs.
Really?
Cannibal facts that'll eat at you for days. If you thought Jeffrey Dahmer was picky for not eating people with tattoos, Venezuelan serial killer Dorangel Vargas, who ate 10 people, didn't like his victims to be overweight because he thought that they contained too much cholesterol. On Thanksgiving Day 1991, 23-year-old Omaima Nelson stabbed her sugar daddy William before carving him up and cooking his head in a deep fryer and eating him for dinner. In the 1970s, Jorge Nevermonte, also known as the Brazilian Sweeney Todd, would bake his victims into pies before selling them to local townsfolk. After murdering and eating his classmate in 1981, Issei Sagawa was released from prison because of a loophole in Japanese law. Since then, he's actually profited off the crime, writing books, appearing on talk shows, and starring in adult films where he bites his fellow co-stars. In 2001, a man named Armin Maiwis posted an ad on a website called Cannibal Cafe looking for someone to be killed and eaten. A German engineer named Bernd Brandis volunteered, and after photos and videos of the incident were posted online, Armin was sent to jail, where today, he's a vegetarian. In 1904, a Swedish sailor named Carl Pettersson shipwrecked on an island inhabited by cannibals. He was captured and taken to a local king, whose daughter actually fell in love with him. The two then got married, had 9 kids, and Carl became the new.
I already know this video is going to show up at night for you. I don't care. You tell that there is something deeply wrong with this photo. It's discovered in a hidden lockbox after her grandfather had passed, and the woman who found it, Michaela Jerome, she thought the same thing that you did. There's something that's kind of off about this picture. Very quickly, if you're not already, make sure to go check out my podcast, The Scariest One You Know, Creep Time the Podcast. Can use the link in my bio. We're on Spotify and Apple. Well, the photo, she was almost sure, clearly showed the staircase of her family home. But she couldn't be sure about what this was in the center until she enhanced the photo. A hauntingly clear image of what appears to be a woman clawing her way up those stairs. She eventually turned in this photo for analysis with the police, and it took them 4 months, but they determined that this was more than likely a scenario of captivity. If her grandfather did take this picture, he had this woman in his possession. Still, nobody would even know who she was.
Man, see how freaking blurred that picture was? I was not even expecting to see that secret. It's like, man, people who hide different sides to themselves. That was a grandfather. She never even knew.
Child Killers Part 1, Eric Smith. On August 2nd, 1993, Eric Smith was only 13 years old when he lured a boy into the woods. He was riding his bike to a local summer camp to where he saw a 4-year-old boy, Derek Robbie, walking alone to the same camp. Smith lured him into the woods and then dropped a rock on his head. He then proceeded to sexually assault him in ways that I'm not going to say. So at around 11 a.m., Derek Robbie's mother went to the park to pick up her son, but he was never there and they said he never arrived. 4 hours later, his body was found in the woods. So at first, no one really knew who could have done this to him. There was not really much evidence. Eric was kind of suspicious because he was hanging around the investigation quite a bit. So within days of the murder, Eric confessed to his parents and they took him to the police station and he was arrested. One thing to note, when he was younger, he killed animals.
It's like a pattern right there, man. The hell was that? Only 6? That should be for everywhere, man. What the hell? Stomach. What the hell? Whew. You know. 30 to 50 right now?
What they look like under the mask part 5.
It's a creepy ass mask, man. Is that supposed to be that Terrifier clown? I think it is, yep. Got the whole fit on. What the? Whole recreation of it.
The absolutely dumbest ways people have died, part 1.
Talk
In
about it.
2002, a Romanian man placed his ear against the tracks to listen for the arrival of the train. Instead, he was hit by an express train and died immediately.
What the hell, man? Those are definitely two of the most dumb. Sometimes, man, people have to use their head. Whew. If you guys made it with me to the end of the video, once again, man, you're a true seeker, seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, don't forget to, man, to follow all my social medias down below. Hit that post notification bell so you always get notified when I upload a video. Most importantly, hit that thumbs up, man, like I said, so we can hit this algorithm and we can just take off. Like I said, I've been seeing guys' supports, man, on the past couple of videos. I really appreciate it, man. Like I said, we're taking it day by day. Time by time, man. We're growing slowly but surely. So thank you guys for joining me on my journey, man. Guys, gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.